Good evening.
Salutations, guys.
How are we doing? Badger is going to be a little bit difficult tonight. We are having some technical issues. Whoop whoop, technical issues.
That's an understatement.
But
yeah, my laptop's just decided not to pump out any audio, so I'm now on my mobile, which has just collapsed on me.
so just fine. So
There we go.
Welcome to the Badger'Ed episode 5.
Brought to you live on National Cellophane Day.
Ooh.
In case you
Cellophane, you
wasn't
say?
aware. Yeah, National Cellophane Day. Not to be confused with cling film, which I thought cellophane was the American for cling film. It's not. Cellophane is the plastic you get food wrapped in.
That is cling film.
No. Like cellophane from like a supermarket. When you get like 2 potatoes on a polystyrene tray with useless plastic around it.
Oh, right.
Today's a national holiday in America for cellophane.
Only in the
See,
States,
with a
I
minute
guess.
and you've learned something already.
I have, you're right. But we have got another jam-packed show for you all, full of trailers, news, and of course we've got a live interview tonight. If you've been following the social media, you'll get to see this one is a little different. Instead of having an indie game dev today, we've got an extremely successful and famous British YouTuber to discuss his channel and answer any of your questions on how to build your channel.
Yep, that's right. We have the one and only Daniel Ibbotson, a.k.a. Slopes Games Room.
And there he is.
Hey, how you
Eating
doing,
Smarties
everybody?
as well. Look at that.
Oh my God, look, I'm on the big screen right there. I didn't realise I'd be taking up that much. Wow.
So, welcome to the podcast, Slopes. Thanks for agreeing to come on with us.
You are more than welcome, my
Those who
friend.
don't know you in the chat, do you want to give a little introduction about who you are, what you do?
Yeah, go on then, I'll give that a go. Yes, sure. So I am DJ Slope, aka Daniel Ibbotson from the YouTube channel Slopes Game Room. I do also have a Twitch channel. I've not used it in a long time. Maybe I could ask you guys your opinion on what I should do with that Twitch channel. But yes, my YouTube channel, Slopes Game Room, I primarily look at the history of video games, more on the console side of things. Love me some retro gaming, so I talk a lot about that. That's half of my channel, and the other half is all about scammy Kickstarter stuff, which is where me and Badger first met each other and started chatting all those years ago back in Blackpool. That's how we got to know each other.
Yeah, I remember that was when I mentioned you'd showed a product on your Kickscammers that I put on Kickstarter. And my fiance leapt me on the table, shoved a finger in your face, and went, "That's you!"
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So they're the two. Entities of my channel.
The product that he showed the image of on his video that I ran a Kickstarter campaign wasn't a scammy campaign.
Yeah. No. So basically, what I do is
it ended up being scammy, but we'll get into that another day.
So yeah, basically what I do is I focus on like 5. It's essentially like a top 5, but like 5 scummy Kickstarters of all different types and varieties. But at the very beginning, I do a little warm up and just show a few flashes of random Kickstarters just to get people in the mood. And yours, or the one you helped work with, was one of those ones I flashed up.
Yeah, it was the Zanko Tiny T1.
Yeah, probably.
I actually have at the bottom of about 20 foot away from it. I have the Zanko Tiny T2. Don't know why he sent me it. I didn't want it, but he sent me it anyway.
You ever go to prison? You're sorted.
You mentioned your Twitch channel. Did I see something you were on Twitch last week on Sega's channel, playing Streets of Rage?
Oh yeah, I was on Twitch's then. I was on Sega's channel then. Yeah. I mean, like Sega's like my absolute love. I love me some Sega. That was my console as a little kid, and I've always been a bit of a hardcore fanboy of Sega. And I'm very privileged to say that I've worked with Sega a few times. And they actually asked me, upon the release of my Streets of Rage retrospective video, to come and play some Streets of Rage with them live on Twitch and YouTube. It went out to a few different places, Facebook as well, I believe. Yeah.
That must be quite cool as someone who's loved retro games. Like, you can tell by your videos have had a massive impact on your life. It's not just a YouTube channel, it's been your entire life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's incredible, mate. It's incredible. I remember the day they invited me up, I was like, where is it? Where is Sega? And I looked up and there was this massive building with like a big blue Sega logo on top, and I was just like, oh, my 10-year-old self right now is screaming with joy inside me, you know. But yeah.
So, let's go back to the beginning. How did you start a YouTube channel then? Where did it come from? What was the initial driving force to do it?
Primarily because I just love talking about retro gaming. I mean, I've got friends that are into gaming, especially retro gaming and stuff. And one friend in particular, I bought quite a lot of my collection from him because he was into it and all that sort of stuff. But basically, I just became very fascinated in looking up on YouTube any kind of weird retro gaming facts. Obviously, you got people like Angry Video Game Nerd and Larry Bundy and Lazy Game Reviews, all talking about these retro gaming things, and I just got very fascinated in finding out stuff that I didn't know about. I love telling people stuff that I know about, and then I realized there was a lot of people on YouTube that weren't talking about the stuff that I did know about. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video about that. It took me a long time. I'm talking years, I believe. It was over a year to get the courage up to finally do it. I kept thinking, oh, it's not good enough quality. At one point, I was going to be animated. And I was going to have a Beetlejuice voice to actually do my videos. But I realised that was a bit wacky and not really my style. I prefer like the respectful sort of documentary style that like Lazy Game Reviews and stuff goes for, you know. So that's the sort of thing I went for.
You have that respect and authority, but you still have a slightly wacky tinge to your videos as well, to your voice.
I tell you what it is. I've worked in sales for a very long time and marketing, and I used to have one of those calls, like what's that movie, Wolf of Wall Street, where you have to be on the phone all the time.
Yeah.
And when I got excited when someone finally answered the phone, I'm like, hey, and I get like really like, hey, and I put on this voice, and that was sort of like my salesy voice, and it'd shock people, and it'd keep them on the phone to talk to me. So when I get excited now, genuinely it happens. I'm like always talking like this all the time. It just literally comes out at the end of sentences. It's not something I put on. It's generally something that I do. I remember when I was out, we went to my son's. He's only like 5. His first parents' evening. I was sitting there around the teachers, and they were telling us about him, and I was like, legendary. Like it's like some weird. And my wife was looking at me like, what are you doing? I don't realise I'm doing it.
Just comes out the most impromptu moments.
Yeah. It just comes out. I just like turn into this weird, vibrating, I don't know, Beetlejuice character.
So when you were setting out, what were your goals? Like, what did you want to achieve with your YouTube channel? Obviously, you're big now, but what were your original goals?
It's going to sound so big-headed, but it's always stayed the same. I've always wanted to make the absolute best video on a particular topic that I possibly ever can. So, for instance, if I'm going to get hold of something like Streets of Rage or whatever else I've done, like Golden Axe and all of these different things, whatever I want to talk about, I'm going to do absolutely the utmost amount of research and everything I can to make the ultimate video, to the point where once you've seen this video, wow, I know everything I need to know to a degree about this particular topic. I try and make the absolute best I possibly can. When I started off, I was putting out videos once a month because I was, still learning how to do all of that, and it would take me the majority of that month to research it and everything else. And to this day, I still kind of do that. I still do. I still try and make the absolute best content I possibly can. That's it.
So, how long did it take you from the channel to noticing you were becoming quite popular?
Again, here's a big-headed response.
It is a big-headed question. It's to drag the ego out. It's intentional.
No, it's all good. I mean, I can remember there were certain videos that done very well, but I remember them more in like the second half of like my life, like that. Because in the first half, it's like, wow, this video's got 10 views more than that video, because you're so small. But the very, very first video I did, which actually sadly is no longer the first video on my channel, you'll still find it. It's called The Story of Roland. It's all about the Roland games for the Amstrad CPC. I did that video, and then I went over to the Retro Gamer forums, as in for the Retro Gamer magazine, and I went to their forums and I just said, hey, look, I've just done this video. What do you guys think? Looking at the screen, refresh, like no one's replying to my message. And then I went to bed and I woke up the next day and there was like 2 pages of people saying, that's really good, well done, that's really, really good. And it just like instantly, I was like, wow, there's something to this. Like, and it just spurred me on so much to continue making content. And there you go.
That's been that little moment of like, I had an idea, and I was not being validated. I had this idea I thought was good. Now people are saying it's good. I can go on.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I could show my wife and I could show my friends. Oh, what do you think about this? But ultimately, it's not a very interesting thing for people that aren't into that particular scene. And I completely appreciate that. I stopped making my wife watch my videos about 10 videos in because it's fucking cruel, you know. Her making me watch like Home and Away or something. I'm not going to force her to do it. But
I completely agree. My missus used to watch every stream that I streamed when I first started because I didn't want to stream. Like, kind of, you know, you say that you're trying to find your voice and your style. Like, I didn't want to stream, but I kind of got asked to buy publishers. So I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to be grumpy. That's going to be my hook.
Yeah.
And
Trust me, nothing's changed from today.
Oh, no, it's changed.
You've nailed it, mate. You've absolutely nailed it.
My missus used to watch every stream. Now she doesn't bother. Now she's like, oh, you're getting 20 views. Fuck off. You're on your own.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know, like that was it really. I just I wanted to continue making content for the people I wanted to know in real life that I didn't know. You know, I wanted to talk to people about this weird, obscure gaming fact. You know, I remember I used to, in real life, I'm like, did you know that they buried ET games in the desert? You know, like every single person online knows that, but you know, people in the real world don't know that. But now I'm with all these awesome people online that do know about retro gaming. It's quite exciting to find new stuff out, and that's why I do it.
So the earliest video on your channel is Gremlins, the original Bad Boys. Is there a massive difference between presenting the voiceover from that video to your latest ones, and what was the change, organic or conscious?
How has my voice changed over? You mean, or
yeah, like so your voice style.
Was it a conscious decision to change your voice?
Like, I think it was just because I was so incredibly shy that no one, you know, you know, the family went out. I said my family at the time. It was only me and my wife. But you know, she went out for the day, and I was like, you know, I'm going to actually do that YouTube video I finally want to do, and it was just still there was no one in the room, but I'm just still really quiet, and I'm just reading my script on a webcam like microphone as well. So it was grainier. It didn't sound as good, and I was just like, back in 1980, and then I was just so quiet and so nervous, even though no one was around. I just ended up becoming more me as the videos went on. That's all it is. It wasn't like I have to vibrate my voice on the end of every sentence. It just happened. You know.
Is that something just came with the confidence of making videos, seeing the views come in, you kind of relaxed a bit more and just got into it?
I think you end up becoming your... I've noticed this with a few different YouTubers, like big YouTubers that I've met. I won't say any names in case it's embarrassing for them, but like when I meet them, I'm like, oh my God, I wonder what they're like in real life. But you're like, man, they're exactly the same. And you got to question, are they on YouTube because that's what they're like in real life, or if they become more like their YouTube personality? And I think I'm a little bit of both. Like I am like what you see me like in the videos in real life, but because I'm so excitable in my videos, I'm just more excitable in real life as well. You know, so it's a bit of both.
Yeah, I can get. I think at EGX when I meet, like at EGX or Plexpo and stuff, when I meet people who know me, I'm like I am on camera, on stream and stuff. But when I meet people like yourself and Mr. Biffo and Tristan and stuff like that, I become more shy and fanboy. Like I'm doing this, but you guys are massive. Like I want to be you guys at some point, and I'm sat having a beer, so I become like really closed and like fanish in a way. It's humiliating.
No, and that's the really cool thing that I learned so early on. There are definite scumbags. There's no doubt about it. There are definite scumbags out there that just like, I know for a fact. Again, I'm not going to say names, but you know, channels that are really small that I reach out to. Oh my God, I really like your channel. Like in completely different fields, not just retro gaming. And they instantly want to talk to you, but you know, say their channels blow up past yours, and I can't really get in there now. I can't really want to talk to them. You know, back in the day, can I be on your channel, Snopes? Like, yeah, you've got a cool channel. Let's do it. And then you know, they get really big and they don't want to be on my channel anymore. Oh, you dick, you know.
Yeah.
So there are people do act differently, but I will tell you, like for the most part, most people, I can only really think of two out of the entire retro gaming scene that I've got hold of, and I've got hold of the majority, and I'm talking Americans as well. Like we're talking Metal Jesus and like all of those crew as well, and all that lot. There's only been one or two that have been a bit dicky. Like they've all been nice enough to want to talk to you and actually talk to you about the things that you're interested in. So I mean, they you know, I remember Larry got hold. Me and Larry started talking when I was in my early 10,000s. I mean, I know that's still a big channel by some people's regard, but compared to what he is, you know, like and how long he's been established, he was talking to me very, very early on. You know, and, you know, we built up a good friendship because of that. So
we have a question from the chat. Sorry, Badger. Freak Shows asked top 5 retro games that you're unsure of that actually surprised you by playing.
That's a good question.
5 retro games that you.
I mean, if you can't think of 5, obviously, like 2 or 3 will be fine.
I'm trying to think of one, if I'm honest.
That is a bizarre question. I think that's something we might have to come back to.
Yeah, I'll think about it during the stream. Let me have a look. I'll tell you what, I've never been a fan of wrestling games at all, just mainly because I'm not into wrestling, which is a cardinal sin for any retro game. They all seem to love their wrestling. I'm not a fan of wrestling. But I like playing old 16-bit retro games, wrestling games. I don't necessarily like the 3D ones, you know, like the WWF Raw ones on like the N64 or whatever. But I do like, you know, a bit of Royal Rumble and stuff on the old Mega Drive. I think they're quite fun. And they're totally
was the Mega Drive on the Royal Rumble arcade port?
I don't know that much about it.
I think I remember playing a Royal Rumble arcade game that I really enjoyed, but I'm not a big fan of wrestling.
There you go. I mean, yeah, I mean, there were probably. I'll tell you what. Actually, Space Invaders '90, that one. You'd think that's boring. It's a wicked game. Yeah, because I've got my Mega Drive games in front of me. You see, I was thinking that is like a boring game. That's really, really good. I got very addicted to that. Baseball games are actually really, really good as well. I quite like playing baseball games, like even things like Great Baseball on the Master System. That's good fun and so far away from anything I would actually like to play. I'll probably think of more as we go on. Golf games.
We'll carry on then, because that was a brilliant question, Freak. But yeah, that takes a bit of time to think about. So, while we talk about your channel starting off and stuff, how do you feel now, looking back over your early work? Are you proud of it? Is it cringy to listen to it back?
I can definitely see where I've improved. So, for instance, the most popular retro gaming type video on my channel, the most popular one is actually one of the first ones I ever did. I think it's like the 4th or 5th video I ever did, which is the Streets of Rage Complete History. And if I go back and watch that now, I'm so proud of that, and I can really see how much heart and soul I put into it. And little things like the editing, where all of the images you see on the screen, I put them all in as separate layers in the actual editing field. And then when I look back, I'm like, I could have done that all as one image that I just moved in, you know, rather than move that in, move that in, move that in, move that in, you know, little things like that. So I can see where I've improved. But the main thing that I can see that I feel like I've improved on is the way I talk about the history of the games, which is the most important part for me. If I go back and look at that, there was so much I missed out on. But, you know, like I say, the heart and soul is still there. So I'm still proud of them. And besides the fact that I sound like I'm whispering into a webcam microphone, which I am, or I was, you know, besides that, yeah, I can definitely see improvements in that regard.
So you currently have 131,000 subs on YouTube. At what point did you feel that YouTube could actually provide a regular income for yourself?
I don't know what the number was, but basically, when I first started earning money on YouTube, it was the same as everyone, I'm sure. You know, you earn. I think at the time, I'm sure it's different now, but there was like a cap on how much you could take out. So you would earn £30 or dollars, whatever it was, after a few months, and then you'd have to wait a couple more months before you reach that $30 again. But it just basically, I just worked it out really simply in my head. So I would do a particular video, and then I'm like, oh wow, that video's earned $10. Like, if I do 2 videos, will I earn $20? Let's try it out. Yes, it did work. Okay, what happens if I do another video? Will I earn 40? Yes, I will. And it just worked out like that. And it just got to a point until that methodology didn't work anymore. And I was just like, yeah, this could be a job, and that was it.
It's similar like with Twitch. I know a lot of people watching are Twitch streamers. So, like with Twitch, you can earn like $30 a month, but you can't draw it out until you get to $100.
Right, I'm so clueless.
So, like, if you earn $100 a month, you get paid $100 a month.
Yes.
If you earn $95 this month, you have to earn $5 next month. Or if you earn $90 this month and $90 next month, you'll get paid $180 next month.
Yeah.
That's
so
where you're still right. You have.
Wrong?
You actually have to earn $100 at least every 30 days. So, say you earn 50 one month and you earn 100 next month, you won't get that 50. It'll disappear.
No, I got mine. I earned $100 over 3 months and got paid out.
But they've changed it since, the bastards. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never earned $100 in a month on Twitch.
I just been streaming and playing games.
That's very
I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in this for the money.
Yeah. I mean, it took me 4 months to earn $100 to get paid out. And that's the only time I've been paid out yet on Twitch. But yeah, so that kind of cap's still there. But I suppose that's it when you go like, ooh, I did that in 4 months. I'm kind of similar to what you were. Then I'm going, can I do it in 3?
Yeah.
Can I do it in 2? Can I do it in 1? You know, just like micro goals.
It was interesting because I mean I was into. I say I did marketing. I was very much thrown into that role in my IT job that I had at the time. So I went from sales to doing marketing, mainly because I just didn't want to be on a phone all day trying to sell stuff. So I went into marketing as my way of getting out of that, but still staying in that sector, I suppose. And even though I was in the marketing area, like it was only me in there, so I wasn't really a marketing manager of anyone besides myself. And I would get sent on these courses. And all I kept doing, because my manager was really old school and he really didn't want to implement these new ways of promoting the company. But it was still good for me because I was running a YouTube channel and I was thinking, I could do that on YouTube. So he was paying me to go and work out how to build up my YouTube channel because he didn't want to implement them into the business. And I knew nothing in that role. I'd go there and I'd be like asking the person next to me, I'm really sorry, after listening to like crazy amounts of like seminars, like I'm really sorry, but what's a SEO? And they're like, oh, that's an SEO. It's how you get highly ranked. I'm like, oh, okay. I literally knew nothing. But over time, I worked out what Hootsuite was and how to use that to better promote myself, how to promote to 3 different platforms at the same time rather than just one. I learned how to, just how to build up a Twitter following, which obviously in turn builds up your YouTube following. Little things like that over time just by watching YouTube channels and like I say, being paid to go on these seminars and stuff. So that's how I tried to push myself in my early days, and that's how I very quickly went from having single-digit subs a day, as in 1 to 9 subs a day, to getting over 10 a day, which for the time that was a huge deal, And then when I realised that I was getting above that, I'm like, right now I've got to change my tactic. Let's see what else I can do. I'm still making the exact same content. I've just got to find new ways to promote it.
So that's quite interesting. It comes down to it's content is king.
Yes. Oh, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you could be the greatest marketer in the world, but you've got nothing to. Yeah, exactly. Greatest salesperson in the world can't sell crap.
Yeah, you. I don't know if it's Ed still. Yeah, Ed's back there again. Who is it? So your channel has a wide variety of content as well. I'm saying like content is king, but you don't have one thing. Like Stoffel presents streams games 2 or 3 days before release, or World of Warships, because I'm addicted to that for some reason. Your channel has a wide variety of content. You have like the complete history games. You have kick scammers. You have the soundtrack vinyl unboxings.
Yeah, I mean they kind of fall into the same category. They're still all for nerds. You know what I mean? And I say that in the nicest way possible. I'm a nerd. But
it's not an insult if we say it to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Nerds, we're allowed to use the M word.
But the camera stuff started off basically because I was doing a video. I just thought it'd be interesting to look up games that almost made it, that looked amazing, video games that almost made it but didn't. And I just did a top 10 about that, and it blew up. And I'm like, okay, I'll do a couple more like that. And I did a couple more like that. And at the time, I was doing the whole double upload with Larry, and he said, why don't you do ones that aren't just gaming. I'm like, yeah, let's give that a go. And that ended up becoming really interesting. So I still jump back between doing Kickstarter video game stuff, but I also branch out and do board games now and anything, in all honesty.
So how did the idea for Complete History of Gaming come about then?
I think it was an accident.
The very first video?
The third video, I believe. The very third video. I'm going to look on my own channel. So obviously the video you see is my first one, is actually my second one because that one got gone. But yeah, the third video I just did Streets of Rage: The Complete History. I just thought that was a nice catchy title. You know, I just did that. And then I done another one. And I think if you go back and watch, because I've changed the title cards to the first few because they were a little bit basic. I think I called one of them The Complete Story. So one of them's wrong. One of them's wrong. But and then I realised, wow, this is actually a thing. I'm just going to continue creating the complete history.
So how did you come up with the idea for a complete history then? Like looking back over a franchise, because it's not just the game and the release. You look into the developers, the music, the social pressure around the game at the time, the media. So what gave you that idea to do that?
I mean, I think it's just interest. It's just what I was interested in. I don't really know how else to explain it. I was always fascinated on how games were made. And I loved, like, you know, I just got so excited before I was on YouTube. And then someone say, like, do you remember Streets of Rage? Or do you remember whatever? And I'd be like, yeah. Did you know that Streets of Rage is called Bare Knuckle in Japan? Or some silly little fact like that. And they'd be like so excited. I'd be so excited to tell them something like that. And now I've got an audience that does know that Bare Knuckle is Streets of Rage in Japan. I've got to really dig deeper and find more information out. That's literally it. I just find it interesting.
I think one of my favourite gaming facts is actually from a Larry Bundy video.
Right.
But I believe I've been told privately it was one of your facts that you put in there, 'cause you're working with him on it, was that Streets of Rage was cancelled because the CEO of Sega America had never heard of Streets of Rage.
Probably. Very much probably, yeah.
It's been 3 games out, never heard of it, cancel it. I remember that being on a Larry Bundy video, but somebody told, I won't say who, but somebody privately told me that was one of your facts when you collaborated with him.
Maybe, I can't remember if I'm honest. Me and Larry go back and forth quite a lot with that. I remember in my Squeak video, the complete history of Squeak, one of my least performing ones because it's such a niche game. But he told me, I basically told him that I'd managed to get hold of the guy that created it, and he goes, speak to him about the released version that was full of swear words. I'm like, okay. Like that, and I spoke to him, and I remember speaking to him, and he was really straight the whole time, and he was quite, you know, a little smile on him, getting to speak about his old games. And then I said, so what about this game that got released for the swear words? He's like, whoa, and his face just dropped. He's like, whoa, no one's got that up in a long time. So there was a lot of that sort of thing. And then Larry used that fact in one of his later fact hunts. So he told me about it. I found out the proof, and then he used it in a fact hunt. There was like one of his more recent ones was a Wipeout video where he said that the reason it's called Wipeout XL in America is instead of Wipeout 2097 is because the person that was going to release it in America thought Americans would get confused and say, hey, where's the previous 2096 games? So that's something that I found out. And
that's similar to it's similar to the Hollywood film Madison King George II. Called Madison King George in America because they want to know where the first film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that same sort of thing. But I mean, I could tell you, I can't even think of right now, and it's embarrassing. But he's told me so many little things. I say to him, I'm doing a complete history on whatever it is. He's like, did you know this? He knows very obscure little facts about things, and they definitely help.
We've got a question in chat. Do you want to go ahead with that?
It's from Freak again. One retro game that was remade that blew you away, and one that dropped the ball.
I think what's it called? Monster There 3. No, what is it? The Dragon's Trap game by Emu. That was like essentially one of the greatest remakes I could possibly think of. But that was so good.
Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Monsters Trap, the remake that recently done. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fantastic.
I couldn't believe how well made that was. my mind's going all over because I'm literally playing through Monster Boy at the moment on the Switch, and when you start talking about that franchise, your mind just goes all over the place because there's so many renames for them. But ones that are bad, a bad one. I'm trying to think. Shitty remake. I'm just looking on my shelf. I mean, I suppose they technically made Night Trap better. I suppose.
Could that ever be made better?
I don't really
so
know what to suggest.
Mrs. Metals asked, can you help her build Stoffel percent social presence up?
Can I help what?
Can you help her build Stoffel Percent's social media presence? She's our social media manager.
She's also my other half, so I'm just going to look at her and shake my head at her.
I'll give a few tips off screen.
Just throw a bottle at her. So, how do you decide what game series to choose for a complete history video? Like, is there a criteria for it?
There is absolutely not a criteria. I know in my head ones that I want to do. I've got a Google Drive folder full of always about 10 or so that I've started. Basically, the beginning of all of my complete histories is the little bit at the beginning where I talk about like my little, I used to love this game, or I didn't know this game, but I understood the importance of it. Like that was more the GoldenEye one and the other things like that. So I know there's a lot that I want to do, and it's just, Monday comes along, I need to start working on the next video for that weekend or whatever it may be. And I just look at my list and go, right, I'm going to tackle Pac-Man or whatever it may be, which is the one I'm working on now, actually. So.
That's interesting. We've got Pac-Man in the news later because Pac-Man's 40 years old this week.
He is. I'm wearing my 1980s T-shirt. That's the year he was born. That's mine.
Sorry, jump a little bit ahead, but we've got it in the news later. It was announced here that Pac-Man is going to be the first ever game that's fully playable in Twitch. So you can go to the Pac-Man Twitch channel and play the game.
Wow.
And you can rebuild level editors and multiplayer. I don't know how the fuck it works. I think it's magic. But yeah, we'll get to that news later. But Chris mentioned I just threw it in there then.
That's cool.
You kind of mentioned earlier you made one video a month when you started out and stuff like, and it took like a month to reset. Has that got any quicker over time?
Say that again.
So how on average does it take you to research a complete gaming history video?
So the gaming history ones, obviously, they are all over the place. So I've got videos that are 10 minutes long. My latest Streets of Rage one was over an hour. The Contra one was over an hour. So ones that are over an hour can take about a month's worth of research. And when I say a month, it's very hard to you don't think I'm sitting here 7 days a week for a month working on just one video. That's technically not how it works. I'll do a few days on it, and then I'll go, right, okay, this is definitely not going to be happening this weekend, or I know that before I start. Like, for instance, Pac-Man, I've been working on that for a very, very long time. So then I'll stop by Wednesday, right, now I need to start working on something else. The one that I know will be quicker. So, for instance, Comic Zone, that took me 3 days. It's one game, the history of Comic Zone. There's only one game to talk about, but it's got a cool history, so I still wanted to tell that story. The same with Gunstar Heroes didn't take me too long. There's a couple of games in that series, but if you compare that to, say, the
something like Zool that has 2 games and then Ninja Bread Hero.
Yeah, exactly.
It becomes more complex. Yeah.
Exactly. So it really does differentiate. I will tell you though that the easiest content for me to make is actually hard for me to say the easiest. I would say the kick scammer content is the easiest to make if I know what I'm looking for. See, the complete history is easier to find the information on because I know what I'm looking for. I can just search for Zool or whatever the game is I want to cover. So I know what I'm looking for. But with Kickstarter, I'm like, right, I've got 3 that are based on messed up virtual reality systems. And I'm just like, let's try and find some more. And that can take so long, or I can just find it straight there and it's done for me. So it's so hard to justify it. It never takes me less than 2 days.
With the complete history games, do you always have what you have like? Right, I'm doing Streets of Rage for the next couple of months, or do you have 2 or 3 on the go that you just get information added to them as and when you find it?
Oh no, I normally have a few on the go. Not necessarily because as and when I find it. Sometimes it might be the fact that I've reached out to a dev and I'm just waiting on them to come back. And if they don't come back within a couple of days, I'll just continue making it without them, you know. Or the main reason I have a few on the go though is because after 3 or 4 hours of talking about something, I start losing my mind and I need to talk about something else. And it's just my way of just continuing to work an 8-hour day or a 10-hour day, without just looking at without looking at Splatterhouse or whatever it may be that I'm covering. I was like, right now, I need to step away from this. It's just driving me insane. The only time I don't stay on one is when I'm in the editing process and I've just got to get in the zone, and all I think about and all I live and breathe and sleep and wake up and think about is that particular franchise, especially if it's one of the longer ones.
But you're about the editing process. That leads us perfectly to our next question, Ed.
It does actually, yeah. So you recently remade your Streets of Rage Complete History video after the release of Streets of Rage 4. How was that received?
It was insanely well received. Insanely well. If you go to the comments, I don't think I got any negative comments. Not that I can remember looking back, and I do look back through the comments. I mean, I get a lot, but it was all positive. I'm so happy with the response from it. It didn't get as many views as I wanted compared. I mean, I'm literally comparing it to my most popular video game related video on my channel, which is the original Streets of Rage Complete History. So I was fully expecting it to do incredibly well, especially with the release of Streets of Rage 4. But the reason it didn't do so well out of the gate, and I know now in retrospect, is one, it's over an hour long. That's not something you just randomly click on. Oh, I'll check this out. You know, you make time for a video like that. So I was still getting. Yeah,
I'll admit I was looking forward to it coming out, but I saved it for later rather than just watching it when it came up.
It took a lot longer for it to die. You know, a video has that massive spike and then it shoots down. This one went up and it took longer to come down because people were still watching it. So it was doing well in that sense. The retention, that's for people that don't know, that's the amount of the video people are watching is still at a very high level. For a video that's an hour long, that makes me feel like, yes, I've done something good here. I'm keeping people's interest up. I had the main guy at Streets of Rage 4 congratulate me on it. So, you know, that's a pat on the back. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. And I've had a few people working on different merch around the world, contact me saying they really like it. Can we send you stuff? And I'm like, yes, you can.
Free stuff's always good stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah. So,
I won't say who, but someone offered to send me an Xbox the other week.
Oh, wow.
And I went, yes, please. And Ed went, you don't even like Xbox. I went, I do when they're free.
Yeah, I'm the Xbox player out of the pair of us, so, you know.
I'm not a big fan of Xbox.
But Sid, actually, go on a quick tangent. Sorry, Ed. Go on a quick tangent. But talk about free stuff. One of my favourite videos of yours is the Japanese Sonic the Hedgehog blue curry.
Oh yeah. I've done that with King Monkey for my fourth birthday on the channel.
That was a brilliant video. And it was like ridiculously expensive shit curry, isn't it?
Yeah. It was like, it didn't taste bad. I was expecting like it to be awful. So for people that don't know, like there's an official. Actually, here you go. I've got it right here. Everything I need in front of me. Everything I need.
Here's what he prepared earlier.
So here it is. So this is Sonic the Hedgehog curry, and as a comparison, it's official. As a comparison, here is the original box art for the original Sonic the Hedgehog. So they've really done well to try and make it look like the original box.
That's amazing.
Spot the difference. One says the most famous. Oh no, they both say that. So there's tiny little things.
Yeah,
so
one doesn't. That's all I can see different.
Pre-packaged curry and Mega Drive cartridge. Little things like even down the sides. They've gone to so much detail. Wow. But yeah, so basically I was expecting it to be disgusting, and it was just incredibly boring. That just didn't really. You just putting stuff in your mouth. It didn't taste bad. It was just like, you know. But the idea is that you put the white rice in the shape of his eyes. Those weird fermented, I don't even know what they are, like beans, as his mouth, like the orange beans in his mouth. Black like gooey stuff with his nose, and then you use the blue, which is the curry, as his face. as his head. And then you put that on your plate, and there you go. That's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, I mean, it was just a silly little thing. Apparently, it cost like 10, 12 quid a packet to get it imported.
Bloody hell.
Sorry, I went off a tangent there, and I apologise.
No,
but I
that's
just
fine. Hey, I was about to say, new they made a Sonic curry.
You know, the funniest thing though that was part of a range of curries that I think it's called Geek Life. Some says it on the side, yeah, it's Geek Life, that made a range of curries. So you had there was Street Fighter ones. I'm really bad remembering the names of Street Fighters, but the skinny guy with the fiery hands. So that one was like a spicy curry. I don't know. I don't know. You could say anyone, and I'd say yes.
Yes.
You had one based on Chucky, as in Child's Play, and that was like a blood red curry, so it looked like blood. And then there was I want to say Death Note. It was a Japanese anime, and that was black. But the best one is they had a human centipede curry, and that was just brown.
Oh,
you can go and buy that.
Nah.
No, you don't want that. The crazy thing is, looking back, that's probably going to be the tastiest of all of the curries, But
because it's not drowned in food colouring.
So Mrs. Metal has just found the Sonic centipede curry video and put it in the chat.
Hey, there you go.
And she sent it to me. So
honestly, it's so different to everything you do, but it's such a fun video because it's different, it's unique. I didn't know this thing existed.
Yeah.
But you're so happy trying it. Like, you're scared to try it at one point. But you're like a little child at Christmas, I think I heard about this randomly, like an urban myth, and now I'm holding it.
Yeah, exactly. Massive shout outs to King Monkey. I mean, he was actually the guy that came all the way down from London to where I live, which is about an hour and a half on the train, just to eat some curry with me. It was very bland, and then gave me some, so that's really cool. I've actually still got up there as well the opened box from it, which I don't want to throw away because it's like a 10-12 pound box. But I've actually got one open as well. There you go.
Sorry, I took us off track, so we'll come back on track. So, you mentioned there, you remade the Streets of Rage Complete History.
Yeah.
Because Streets of Rage 4 came out. But I know personally you're a massive Streets of Rage fan.
Yeah, I love it. Absolutely adore that.
Is it bad that I couldn't remember playing it until I saw the artwork? I was like, oh yeah, I've played it. I got a lot of stick for that, by the way. I was like, what the hell, Streets of Rage? Yeah. And then my Scottish friend went off for one because he loves Street of Rage, and Badger was like, you've never heard of Streets of Rage? I was like, maybe?
Yeah. We're streaming next week. We're like, I've got to wait till Wednesday. I've got Streets of Rage 4 right here, but I'm not allowed to show it till Wednesday. And he's going, what, Streets of Rage? Fucking no!
But then I had played the original, the remake on Xbox, and then I got Streets of Rage 4, and I've completed it, and it was fun.
Yeah, it's a great game. They've done the series justice. I've stopped playing it. I still, to this day, haven't unlocked all the characters, only because I originally played it on the PlayStation 4. Then I got given a code for the PC version, which is the version I used in my review. And I've ordered about 4 different versions of it on the Switch, so I don't want to be bored by the time limited run set.
Just go back. I knew you were going to do Streets of Rage because I know how much of a personal connection you have to that game and how much you loved that as a child.
The first 4 games I ever got for my Mega Drive.
There's a great bit I love. I think my favourite bits of the Complete History videos where you're reminiscing about coming home in the car and seeing the lights go past, thinking Streets of Rage could be happening right there now.
Yeah.
I love that bit. But so does that mean that's the only remake? The only time you're going to go back and redo a Complete History video, or will you just say never?
Never say never. I mean, I did say that would be the only one I did. But I look back and the jump in my own personal opinion, the jump in quality compared to my earliest video to this one just makes me think, I tell you what though, Golden Axe again would be good. But it would depend on how much information I can get on it. If there really isn't much more to talk about. But I realised there was just so much missing from Streets of Rage originally, down to the point where, I mean, so I think I said originally that Yuzo Koshiro made the music, and there wasn't really much more other than the fact that I love it. I said I didn't say much more than that. When in actual fact, he and his sister and his mate essentially made, the first game, the second game, and there was all this information about that I didn't ever touch on. I didn't talk about the fact that the before it was called Streets of Rage, it was called D-SWAT, which was a sequel to E-SWAT. The car found in the first game was the one you see in the end credits of E-SWAT. There was so much I didn't talk about, and I was able to actually get hold of. And this is again another brings tears to my eyes excitement. I actually got to speak to Al Nilsson, which is the marketing guy at Sega, and Tom Kalinske, who was the head of Sega of America. Two guys that if it wasn't for them, Streets of Rage 2 wouldn't exist because Japan didn't want to make it. The most popular, besides Sonic, the most popular game on the Mega Drive wouldn't exist without these two gentlemen. And they said, yeah, we'll help you make your video. Well, as in, they'll give me a quote for the video. And I'm like, how can I not remake this video? There was just so much at my fingertips, you know. And then I also got to work with 16 other YouTubers on it as well. They all provided voices of all different, sizes and, big channels, small channels. And, it was just a great way of doing this absurdly big collaboration effort. And again, I wanted to make a video that was the best anyone could make. And by that point, 5 years on, even though I still had probably the most popular video on the topic, I had to not only outdo myself, I had to outdo another 50 channels that have done it since then. So I really put my all into that video. So, there you go. And then it came out and it didn't do as well as I thought.
So everyone go watch that Streets of Rage. You've seen how much has gone into that. You've heard the guy just pour his soul out. Go watch it 20 times this week. Get those views up.
Throughout this interview, Chloe is putting out the your YouTube channel and obviously random links to videos. So you never know, you might get one or two.
Very, very nice.
I've been watching a few of your videos at night.
Thank you very much.
To sleep. I always stick YouTube on randomly to fall asleep to. People's voice, I guess. I don't know. Childhood trauma.
All you can hear is me going, Streets of Rage, Sega, 80s.
No wonder I wanted to play it so bad. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked now. Another series of videos you do is Kick Scammers.
Yes.
How did you come about with the idea for that?
It was just one of those things. I don't just do the history of games. I like to let my hair down what there is of it, and just and do still something gaming, but a bit more fun, a bit more junky content. Like top 10 lists and stuff like that. And like I said earlier, I made a video about 10 Kickstarter video games that looked awesome, but didn't quite hit their funding goal, so we'll never get to play them. Primarily sequels to like spiritual successors to old games and things like that, and it done remarkably well, and I just continued to do it. I kept doing video gamey related ones, and then I started to branch off and do things that weren't just to do with video games, and people really, really enjoyed them, to the point where now they're more popular than the gaming videos, in all honesty. They don't last as long over time. The good thing about doing complete histories is the fact that people watch them essentially forever. People still.
It's like in marketing speak, it's called evergreen content, isn't it?
Exactly. The Kick Scammer stuff isn't evergreen content, but it is more fun to make from time to time. And I want to just chill out and just make something a bit silly. And that's what it is. It's good fun content.
Just because we show a lot of trailers after the interviews, we show trailers in news and stuff. So, in honour of you being on tonight, we actually have a trailer for a game that's on Kickstarter. There's a 50% of its goal. Just in honour of you being on tonight. But although you're showcasing your exposed scammers on Kickstarter, you do actually like crowdfunding sites, don't you?
I say in my very latest one as well. I said crowdfunding is a good thing. It really, really is a good thing when done right. But every time there's a new money-making type thing that comes out, whether it be Bitcoin or anything, you always get the scam artists that come along and go, oh, I know how to do that. You learn how to put porn on it, then you learn how to scam people on it, on anything that ever comes out.
Did you just say porn? Sorry, I don't. The one thing to get out from that.
Anything that makes money, the first thing you'll find is people put porn on it.
Yeah, anything.
Is it? Yeah. I remember the PSVR. I bought PSVR about 3 months after it came out. And I told my mates, do you want to come round for a few beers? I've got the PSVR. And my mates went, I know, I put porn on that for you.
Yeah.
I was like, we're buying for that.
Cheers, mate.
Well, I'll take that USB stick. Thanks, pal.
when I rang up my mates, I was like, "Oh, do you want to come around and check out the PSVR?" Yeah, I bet you got the PSVR. It's just like instantly, everyone's minds just go.
Yeah,
like that. And yeah, it's the same with crowdfunding. I've done an episode based on raunchy Kickstarters, ones where so here's a couple of stories. But in case you haven't seen this episode, there is a guy that wanted to make his own beer. Not a bad thing. Most men do like making their own beer. Yes. I've got my own beer, actually. There you go. Little plug there.
Can I have some?
Your own beer? How did that come about?
I'll tell you about that in a sec. But yeah, I've got my own, but it's actually not available anymore.
Sorry, I took your track. Let's just tell people, because this is an 18+ stream, so you don't have to worry. Tell people what this guy was making his beer out of.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Yeah. So basically, they wanted to make a beer that was going to have the scent of a lady, so they used the vaginal extract from inside a lady, like the yeast extract from inside of the vagina to
puke. 1 second.
To make beer. And the funny thing is, when I made that episode, well, actually, not the funny thing is just the fact that he wanted to make beer out. Incredibly attractive. I've got no qualms in saying it. Like this model of a woman, like she was
okay there?
Incredible.
Sorry, the other half's just gagging really badly in the corner.
It's a lovely lady, but they want to make the beer using the vaginal yeast extract, and basically they didn't get their funding goal. So that was the end of that. I just explained that they wanted to do it, but the funny thing is, the update on that came out not long after the video, maybe about half a year. Maybe I promoted it for them. Who knows? Someone come along, and just some very rich man goes, "You need 15 grand? Here's 15 grand," and just slap down all the money, and there you go. And they even gave an option as well. And I think it was like they marketed it as like in case for your wedding or something like that. So if you get you're getting married, ladies and gents, and you maybe want to send around to all the lads and the women, it doesn't matter who. You want to send around a nice beer of the bride's vaginal extract beer, then that's the company you go to. Yeah, that was one of the goals, and we'll also do your girlfriend if you want.
That is fucking disgusting.
So that was one of them. And there's loads of others as well.
I was watching one of your Kickstarter's videos today. I think it was one of your latest ones, where you try so hard to get being censored by YouTube.
Well, the
and you're going, Jack, you later.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a little plug, actually, that one. But yeah, no, the idea is basically, I did a whole episode about virtual reality devices. So you obviously got ones that were just messed up, crappy virtual reality devices. But there was people that wanted to make virtual reality shoes that failed. One of the I wonder what that was. It was a motorbike outside. There was another one where a guy put this thing on your arm, and then the video showed a bird flying into your hand, and when it landed in your hand went down, even though you're not wearing gloves. I'm like, how's he doing that? And then when it finally come out, what he was doing was sending electric shocks down your arm and making your hands spasm. It was like, So apparently that's like it didn't really give off the same effect of slowly holding a bird in your hands. Like he was spasming out.
Just give you electric shocks. You had the right response at the right time for the video.
Exactly. And then obviously you got people trying to make essentially fleshlights that coincide with virtual reality devices, and then they don't come out, and then you've got loads of horny men going, I want a refund, but I'm not going to ask the bank for a refund because that's kind of a bit embarrassing. Is that scene out of Lockstock?
This back.
Yeah, you remember that scene out of Lockstock? What we should do, lads, is we should sell massive dildos, and then no one's going to want to get their money back when we don't ship them out.
Well, it's like you were saying earlier, like the best thing is like something new comes out with some money make, you get porn and then you get scammers. And it's generally the same thing. Like, here's porn, and we're not going to send you it, but you're not going to ask for it back either.
Exactly.
They don't know me that well then.
I used to love sending my friends Christmas presents a big box. I used to send a big box out to Swindon every Christmas with Christmas presents in for like 6 lads, but I'll send them to one person's house because I live nearby. And I'd just write all over the box, fragile glass dildos enclosed. Because I knew the guy was sending it to live with his mum.
That's bad.
There you go.
Anyway, let's try and get back on track from glass dildos and beer with semen in it. 7 out of 10 of your most watched videos are kick scammers. Why do you think that is?
It's because, as much as we all like to, slate on, and I'm the same as well. So we all like to slate on those sort of junk foodie, sort of drama-based videos that are all out there. Typical listicle, clickbaity videos like Watch Mojo and all that sort of stuff. At the end of the day, that is my junk food content. People do want to see the Kickstarter that ended in a fatal way, and stuff like that. It's I find that sort of stuff interesting to watch and make, obviously, and that's why they're so popular. That's what it is. We may all say that that's not what we like to watch, but we do watch it. I've got the stats to prove it.
I do watch some weird stuff.
I love.
Say that again.
For me, I do love watching these car crash horror stories of Kickstarter and scammers. But at the same time, I appreciate you do all the research. Well, I have to spend 3 days looking for it. I'd spend 10 minutes watching it.
Oh, yeah. I just get really excited when I start going down a loophole, sort of down a rabbit hole of something that's gone completely wrong. And I'm like, oh, my God, and then they did this for another project? Oh, my God, that one didn't get sent? Oh, my God, the reason why they're doing this is to fund a project that no one knows. And I get excited for like a little bit like a detective. And shout out to my Discord community as well. I think a few people might have joined in as well, because I actually have like a whole kick scammer detective agency, I call them, in my Discord that like, okay, I'm looking for this guy, and everyone just goes crazy looking for stuff like, oh, have you looked up their company's house records? They don't actually exist. It's like, oh, Eureka, we found why we're going to do the video on. It's exciting stuff.
That's brilliant. The fact that you've got other people doing it for you.
Yeah, we all work together to do that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. There are some. I'm into Kickstarter, but I tell you what, there's some people in there that live it. They are hardcore people that are into that sort of stuff, finding scammers and stuff. And also shout out to the Reddit community, shitty Kickstarters, subreddit shitty Kickstarters. They just literally live to look for that sort of shit.
Is it bad I refuse to go on Reddit because I know for a fact I'll be lost in there for fucking hours?
Oh yeah, you do. It's an addictive place.
What a dirty laugh. He's like, yes, it's a really addictive place. I know of people that spend they spend like 6-7 hours a day just on Reddit, and they're like, oh shit, I'm meant to be at work.
Yeah.
That laugh from Slopes and what cheeky. You went, oh, I know I'll go on it, I'll lose hours. Slopes went, it's like fucking days, mate.
Freaks per hours, you mean years?
Thankfully, I can. Thankfully, it's kind of my job now to look up that stuff. So I have to.
I'm working on. But speaking of Kickstarters, I like how this has kind of got a symbiosis to it, because you start with retro gaming. You're very big on the retro gaming scene, especially the British retro gaming scene. Anyway, and the most popular video you've got on your channel is a Kick Scammers video on the Vega Plus.
Yeah.
How does it feel? How does it feel to create a video that has just short of 500,000 views?
I know, that's pretty insane. And if I'm going to get technical, I do have a 1 million view video, but it's on Larry Bundy's channel. No, it's my video, but it's on Larry Bundy's channel.
Sorry.
1.5 million, actually. But the exact same video is on my channel, but it's got a lot less. Probably about 100k. But so that video, my God, what a roller coaster! I think it did so well because no one wanted to touch that subject. I remember before it came out, chatting to people, saying, "Should I do this?" And they're like, "Don't do that, Dan. You're going to get into a world of hurt if you do that video." I'm like, "Nah, it's all right. It's all right." And then I did it, and it exploded.
Didn't Octavius Kitten and Larry Bundy cut cheese with their Vega?
Yeah, cheese and bacon, and I think stuff like that. That sounds about right. I don't actually own one. I've got one of the most popular videos based on the Vega Plus. I don't actually own a Vega Plus. I don't want to own one, but I probably should own one. Maybe I should own one, really, shouldn't I?
I really wanted to, and then when I saw the fallout from it, went, ooh, I dodged a bullet there. I just happened to be skint at the time.
It's one of those stories that's so weird. It just, and now they're talking about creating what is it, like sex dolls for paedophiles, and now they're talking about doing this, and it's just like, this is the just make the fucking console. What are you doing? It's such a fucking mind blowing. And the crazy thing is that's $500,000, but that wasn't the original upload. There was another one, but I ended up having to take it down because I got hit with strikes from, I'm assuming, people that worked on it. I can't say for sure because you don't get a name. It could just be trolls that want to support it. You don't know. It's weird. That's the one that I've had the most backlash from, without a shadow of a doubt.
It's the biggest impact you've had on a video, but also the biggest success you've had on a video.
I almost completely took it down at one point. To the point, and I said to Larry, "Do you want it?" He goes, "Yeah, I'll have it." and it never happened. And then I put it back up on my channel. I got to this point where I was like, "Fuck it." It was such a scary moment for me because that video went live as soon as I went full time, and I built myself up. I don't mind talking monetarily, but I got myself to a point where I was now earning a good amount to the same I would be earning in a full-time job, and now I can just work on doing that as a full-time job. I just moved into my new house, which is this house here, and everything was just right, excellent. Moving in, I'd lost my internet for like a week, in the move process, and my last upload was Vega Plus, and then it just started getting whacked every day.
You had a full week without being able to see it.
Say it again.
You had a full week without being able to see it. Like you uploaded it and then moved house.
No, I was watching on my phone. I mean, I couldn't even start working on the next upload. I mean, and I just started freaking out, like, oh my god, I've just gone full time, and now I'm fine. And now, for the first time ever, I'm actually getting like hit hard, and this is scary. What do I do? Should I just remove it? I don't care. I'll fucking just. Even though I spent so long working on that video, should I just get rid of it? I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
To go back, because there's a lot of Twitch streamers that are watching. A lot of Twitch streamers and stuff that are watching. Would you say, like, as a content creator, to stand by your content if you feel you've made it for a reason, to stand by it, or
well, it was nothing
fall to pressure?
That's such an open question, really, because there's nothing in there.
It's no fair question. I apologise.
No, I mean, if there was stuff in there where I was really slandering someone, then yeah, like I would think twice.
Dropped his phone.
He got drunk. Then I'd think twice, and maybe I should go out and take that little thing out. If I put a picture in of someone that wasn't related to it and then slandered them incorrectly or something along those lines, but everything it was one of the easiest and hardest videos to make because it was so long. It took me a long time to make, but most of it was actually written out by hardcore researchers of the project and everything that went wrong. So, and I'm really happy to say that retrocomputers.co.uk, the people that hosted all of the information, actually, now use my video as it's on the front page and it says, "You want to find out about it? Just look at this." So it's pretty cool in that sense. But, yeah, stand by it if you know you've not done nothing wrong. But if you are, I don't mean just offending. Yeah, you're going to offend people. But if you are actually doing something that's bad, then yeah, be sensible. I mean, it's hard to say.
Right, I'm trying to catch up because I just had to disappear and sort something on my Discord, so I do apologise.
That's all right.
Badger, please take the next question.
I know you want to this. Yeah. What's the weirdest crowdfunding project you've ever seen? I think we might have covered that with a yeast beer.
Yeah.
We're going to skip that to what's the best crowdfunding project you've ever seen?
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I love crowdfunding to the point where I'm always like, even if a game comes out bad, if they give you a good indication of the behind the scenes, I still think it's good. It's amazing. You keep dropping your phone. Whatever that is, that needs a clean.
Carry on.
Yeah, basically, I like finding out the behind the scenes process. One of the best ones actually is a game called Rain World. Honestly, I didn't actually spend a lot of time playing the game when it finally came out.
Yeah.
But the amount of effort the guys behind it went into explaining the process of crowdfunding and the process of actually making the game made the whole thing worthwhile. It was so good, to the point where I'm pretty sure the game got delayed. But it's always a bad thing, but that's what happens. When you hear about a particular game, I don't know, fucking Half-Life 2 or whatever, some game that's coming out and it gets delayed. Now, as kind of acting like the publisher by giving money into Patreon, I actually think it's a good idea, because you actually get to find out why a game gets delayed. I mean, you have to take them for their word, sadly, but you actually find out about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And if the game ends up coming out, there was a game I backed called Wolf, which is like a Red Riding Hood sort of grim fairy tale sort of game. That game ended up coming out, and it was quite pants. But the whole making of it was brilliant.
So while we're waiting for Badger, on crowdfunding, for people that don't actually know what it is, like you give money out to help them create their dream.
Yes, it could be anything. It's not just gaming.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it could be a beer, like you were saying earlier, or a game, or clothes brand.
Yep.
But
sorry, I'm back. My phone collapsed and died.
We saw it. It was quite funny. So like, what really catches your eye on Kickstarter?
I mean, it can go anywhere now. Most of the time, like nowadays, I'm just getting stuff sent to me. I tell you what, though, I actually back. Most of the things I back are actually to do with board games. They take the longest time to end up coming out. But there's one I'm backing at the moment by, I'm going to get his name wrong, but Edmunds, the guy who basically done Island Isaac. And what else did he do? The Endless Eye and Super Meat Boy. That guy. Okay. He's actually done a new board game that plays like dominoes, and it's called Tapeworm. And you actually like use you have these little cards that are like the tapeworm inside of a body, and you have to connect them all up. It's like a disgusting game.
Before all the coronavirusness happened, bad words. I actually worked in a card factory that had a side game, like boards game. Actually, you might need to move your mic, mate.
What?
You're breathing down your mic.
I don't have my mic. I'm on my phone. It's as far as where I can put it.
That's what I mean. Like, whatever you're breathing in, it was there. As I was saying, yeah, I used to actually work on the board games, and some of the games that came through were mental.
Oh, that's so cool, yeah.
But it was great to see the ideas people were coming out with, like just like one or two people going game, and the amount of orders we used to get for that game is like, how is this taken off? And then we actually tried to play it once, one of them, and it was a case of, how the fuck? Why isn't this bigger than it is already?
I know. There were certain like sort of gatekeeper games that come along that are like, you play to someone, you let someone play that only knows of Cluedo and Monopoly or whatever, and you're like, wow, this is actually really, really cool. I mean, personally, I'm not into the story-based heavy games. I'm more like into resource collecting and stuff like that. I think it's because I've got a little bit of like a history of things like Command and Conquer and stuff in my youth and stuff. So I feel like I'm playing those a little bit, like collect the wood to do this and do that, whatever else. So I like games like that. Yes, I
think one of my favourite videos of yours is and I'm on a bit of side, so I'm probably going to be politically correct here. Was about a board game with a young lass who made it, and to put it politely, she was a mental.
That's one of my favourites. She has not gone away, by the way. So
it's still around.
I feel bad.
Did you get stalked and harassed by her online?
No, not majorly.
Was
it was
stalking and harassed someone.
No, so I made the video, and the video was finished, and I reached out to her. Like when I very first started off the video, because I found her on Facebook, and I said, "Look, hey, I'm going to do this video on you. Do you want to talk about it?" And she just started going crazy at me. Started just yelling at me, yelling like caps lock, like going crazy at me, and it was so weird. And then she started and it was one of those things where you're just watching the screen at this person just go, tick, 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 all these little boxes pop open. You're just like, every so often you write an okay, enter. There wasn't much on my side of the argument. But she was getting all really, really racial and stuff like that as well. And I'm like, do you expect me, just because I was born a particular gender, to think it's okay? And then she used the N-word, not nerds, the other N-word, and started saying all these other things about how the sun was attacking her. And I'm like, this is insane. I was like, I didn't really know what to do with it. And then, I put the video out. And
she had a successful Kickstarter campaign and never delivered the board game. I was just talking on that. Now I'm getting harassed by someone who says the sun's attacking her.
So basically the idea was I created a video called the Kickstarter that was destroyed by the sun. And people kept thinking I was talking about the Sun newspaper. But it actually got to the Kickstarter was doing well enough. It wasn't like wildly successful or anything like that. I am live on a podcast. I'm trying to get more people in here. Here we go. I
appreciate that. Thank you.
That's fine.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
It's all good. But yeah, basically, it was all going well. There was a few things that, like a couple of card stock issues and that sort of thing. But it was the board game community is so overly nice. It's like everyone's your nan. Everyone wants to help you and give you advice. Oh, I've got an idea, and everyone is so nice. Unfortunately, that's not always the case in the retro gaming scene. I love my retro gaming scene, but there are some people out there that really like, woo, especially that Vega Plus video. My God.
With them.
The retro gaming community were all helping her. They were trying to help. Oh, this is what you should do. Blah blah blah. Then she went quiet for about a month, and then just randomly came back and said, "I'm not going to make the board game anymore because the Sun doesn't want me to." And as in the Sun up there, she started getting messages from the Sun. Tell her, because the game was based in space, and she found out secrets about the Sun, and the Sun didn't want her to get them to spread them. So the voices in her head told her not.
Yeah.
She was crazy, but basically,
if not, she should.
She'd give us some books.
I remember I did a community post on my YouTube a while back. I can't even remember that. Good few months ago now. And I was just going back through some comments and that sort of thing, looking back through, because I don't always see those ones pop up on my phone. I look back and I just saw this absurdly big one of her just yelling at me again, but under a different account. I'm like, whoa, she's literally not gone away, has she? And then she sent me a board game as well. I actually got her board game in the garage. Not that one, a different one.
Yeah, she's made a second one, but you got it and none of the backers did. But you see, that's just one thing I want to say with Kickstarter, because we talk about Kickstarter a lot tonight, is that I back a few Kickstarter projects.
Yeah.
But I think what people get is like, oh, if I pay $10, I get this game. I always see it as it's not a purchase, it's an investment.
Yeah.
Like, if I pay $10, I might get this game.
Yeah, like I say, the ones that have no excuse that are bad, if you drop down $10 and then you never hear anything else and the game doesn't come out, that's what's bad. What I like to do is, like I say, I've backed games that have come out that have been bad. Same with board games as well, but it's the process leading up to that of explaining how they made it, the problems they actually do come up against, and explaining, okay, look guys, it's going to be late because of this. I still find that a good thing because they're keeping you informed, and you are sort of acting like a publisher for £10, or whatever it is that you backed. So I'm happy for them to tell me, that sort of thing. I've never ever had a project not deliver, I don't think. Almost happened with the what was it called? Where is it? Oh, up there, the Ren and Stimpy artwork. John Kay, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, if you paid him 30 quid, you help him make his next cartoon, but he'll also send you some artwork from his scrapbook. And I'm like, fuck yeah, that's a great way of getting a bit. And you never knew if you was going to get Ren and Stimpy. You might just get something random, but thankfully I did get Ren and Stimpy. So I've got a genuine picture of Ren and Stimpy on my wall, drawn by the creator of Ren and Stimpy. But then he hardly didn't deliver it, and then he came out as a pedo. So that all went to shit, big time.
I backed a cartoon, the Barry and Joe cartoon, which was as Donald Trump gets sworn in as president, Barack Obama and Joe Biden get taken to a secret facility and jump back in time, kind of quantum leap style, to stop it from ever happening. And they don't know if they can ever leap back. So it's adventures of Barry and Joe, like younger. And the cartoon never got made, but we got the postcards and the artwork we got promised on the tier. We got them. And it's like, I love the cartoon, but I still got the physical reward, so I'm all right. I'm happy. I paid $10 for a 50p postcard, but I'm happy.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I'll tell you what's really crazy though is I found out. So here's something in case anyone's joined that remembers the Ren and Stimpy episode I did. So the girls that he grooms. So basically, what he did, he told younger girls that hey, I'm the creator of Ren and Stimpy, and he would teach them how to become incredible animators to his credit. But then he would also groom them to be his girlfriend, not to his credit. So
yeah.
So
that's something different.
it was really messed up. And the weird thing. I mean, I'm in a really dark room right now. Let me see if it actually shows. No, it doesn't. Okay, but basically, so I've got this artwork on the wall of one of my all-time favorite cartoons, and basically, I need to get it. One sec. You see if I can get it.
No worries.
This is what I look like. We're going really off topic with the interview, and I apologise, but this is what we're really good at, when we get people on to talk about a certain thing, and we just get to really explore who they are and who they are as a person. So you watch Slope's videos, and you watch Slope's YouTube videos, but now you've got a really good sense of who the guy is today, and who. So part of me apologises for going off track on the interview. Part of me goes, I don't apologise at all, because you've got to know him better now, which means you're going to go watch more of his videos and subscribe.
It's fine. I'll bring it back on track in a minute. It's fine. I got this.
So what you're looking at here is the artwork by John Kay that's just come out of a random scrapbook. Yeah, you got Ren and Stimpy at the bottom, dressed up as
That's awesome.
Fred and Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble a little bit, like giving off that sort of impression. So yeah, you've got I'm trying to get there. Yeah, there's his signature there. Funnily enough, that thing right there is a phone number that he's scribbled out. And yes, I did work out what it was, and I rang it, and no one answered. So I thought that would be really funny. That would be really good for the video. I tried it; it didn't work.
That sucks.
But the worrying thing is, when I showed this several times in the video, and I'm holding it up and blah blah blah, someone messaged me that knows a lot about John and his wrongdoings, and they think that might be one of his renditions of the girl.
Wow.
So I don't know how I feel about owning this. It's a really weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, someone who grew up with Ren and Stimpy as being quite influential in their younger years, being like, I want a piece of unique artwork from the guy who made Ren and Stimpy. That's fantastic. That's amazing. And then at the same time going, it might be a bit paedophilic.
It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre because I know for a fact that the girl almost taught him in a little way, because she became obsessed with drawing girls herself, and I think it went that way. I mean, again, I'm just taking information from someone that messaged me about this, so I don't know how true it is, but it's everything else they said was pretty legit. So yeah, that's quite a weird one.
On your channel and your career and how you come one of the most successful British YouTubers, one of the most influential people in retro gaming. Let's not
get back to that.
Down by what's on the other side of pond did.
Let's get back to the main part of the interview and why we're actually here, shall we? We've gone off. I was trying to save it while you disappeared for a few minutes. So your videos. Let's go back. Your videos receive at least 30,000 in the first week.
Yeah, about 30k in the first week.
How do you maintain that kind of viewership, like on a reg, like 30, 25, like 29,000?
It's such a pansy thing to say, but honestly, you just don't put out content you don't like. Like I've started writing scripts before, and I'm like, this ain't going anywhere. And I remember actually this happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I started working on a script, which was a listicle type video about games full of stolen content. And I started writing it, and I'm like, I don't know how well this is coming across, this video. And I stopped, and I just did something else. I've never, ever, ever put out content I don't like. I know some of them are easy content, like, for instance, a record unboxing. That's very easy. That's just, unbox a video and make it look pretty in the editing suite. But just don't put out content you don't like.
That's quite similar to what I do on Twitch. Like, I'll put out, if it's I've got a good game 2 days for release, I'll stream it 2 days for release.
Yeah.
Going up. If I've got a game that I don't like, or a game that makes me rage quit, gives me really that's going to be funny for people to watch. Like, that's be something I'd like to watch. If it's a middle of the road game where it's like, I can't speak about this with enthusiasm, or I can't be entertained to people watching me. Would I want to watch me playing this game? No, then I won't stream that game. Even though I've got it a week before release. And it's like, I could be the only person on Twitch with it. It's like, yeah, but am I going to be entertaining with it?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You mean like SnowRunner, Badger?
If I'm shit at it, I'll still stream it. Like, I'm streaming SnowRun at the moment. I've been doing it since before release and still continuing. Because I am shite at it.
Just
People love to come on and take the piss out of me and have a go at me. And
just quickly, we've got. I believe we have one of your viewers in the chat.
Hey.
He said, "Hey Dan, you're the best and a big inspiration for me and a bunch of content creators from Latin America. We really admire your work." That is Jopoloco 0190.
Thank you very much, my man. That's a lady, I don't know, but thank you very, very much. I very much appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. And I'd say nothing is more like exciting than people sending me messages like that, or when I meet people at at conventions. Like, the first time I met you, Badger, we shook hands and all that sort of stuff. Not now, in this pandemic, you wouldn't get to shake my hand right now, unfortunately. But it's just great meeting people like that.
Just on the question quickly, because as we have a fan in. As a big YouTuber user myself, do you like? I feel like I'd like to drop you a direct message, whether it's Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, however, to DM you. Do you always read them, or is it a case of you try your best to reply to as many as you can to a personal level, like, and not make it seem like a robotic answer, like, "Oh yeah, cool, thank you very much," kind of a thing?
The best I can. It's definitely a daily occurrence, without a doubt. And you got to think back. I always think back to that time where I wanted that to be the case. I wanted people to message me regularly and thank me for the stuff I did, because I put my heart and soul into it. So I try my very best to reply to everyone. I think the odd email is the worst way, in all honesty, because I may not reply to you, but I also may not reply to that sponsor that's offering me loads of money to do a video about something, because I am so forgetful.
I understand, obviously, because especially the really big YouTubers, I'm going to drop names like KSI, Tom Syndicate, those kind of tier streamers, like YouTubers and streamers, for them to try and reply to every message is going to be nigh on impossible. And it's just a question I wanted to ask more for a personal level, if that makes sense. Like,
absolutely.
Just be like, your content's got me through dark times, and it
I've
really
had
made
that.
me.
I've had that.
Yeah. Those messages have got to be some of the best feeling messages for you as a person.
Oh, that someone recently messaged me. I started my stream late last Thursday. No, the Thursday before it was. Yeah. I started my stream late the Thursday before, because I normally start my stream at 8 p.m. and it was on a Thursday. And if anyone knows what happens at 8 p.m. on a Thursday in the UK at the moment, actually worldwide, I'm pretty sure, you got the whole worldwide clapping thing. Yep. So I started 15 minutes late because I just timed that in completely wrong. And I quickly wrote in there, sorry, starting 15 minutes late because clapping for the NHS. And as soon as I came back in, there was actually someone in there that works for the NHS that watches my video, and they have coronavirus. Oh, wow. And they were just like, watching my videos whilst in that state, and they were just like crazy thankful. I'm like, fucking hell, like, you're spending your time watching my stuff whilst in that position. And I was just like, it's like boom, boom, boom.
That must be a real heavy hitter for you, like.
Yeah, hard. Without a shadow of a doubt. I've had some. I'm not going to repeat them because obviously I don't know if they're private. People want them to be private, but I've had a lot of messages with people that are ill and people that want to, watch my stuff. I've had people in hospital watching my stuff, and it's like, that's absurd. That's teary-eye absurd, and without a doubt, it's the most great.
This is one of the reasons we had on tonight. Was kind of like, you've got 131,000 subscribers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't answer all those messages. Like, it's impossible.
I think I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm sure there'll be someone there that says, "Hey,
I feel like you're very active. You're very active in the comments section on your videos.
I try to. I like leave it a couple of days, and then I have a stint where I just go crazy for like an hour or something. But I try to be.
But you can't. It's ridiculous to expect you. Like, every one of your subscribers message you, you'd never get another video on. So it's kind of like today we'll kind of put it on like, you can come and ask Slopes directly live. rather than, it kind of gives people access to you, because, yeah, you can't answer everyone all the time when you got that many people.
Who was it? I remember when I had a channel, it might have even been Larry, I can't remember. It was someone I messaged in a comment section. Not a message, I just commented on a video, said something about something, and they were like, oh my God, they noticed me. Like, that's insane. And so it works the other way around. And as someone, I've got to remind myself every so often that I am a 100k YouTuber, and it's important to reply to people because it's important to them. They wouldn't message if they didn't want some kind of retaliation. Some of them, I suppose. I know I got excited when that sort of stuff happens. So.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned sort of like beginning of the interview. You mentioned when we met in Blackpool, like Blackpool, and to you, that's just a day we met and we talked about that. You featured my Kickstart on beginning of your campaign. That was a massive day for me. It's like I was doing my journalism thing, and then I managed to somehow blag an interview with Mr. Biffo after his panel, and then he invited me out for a drink that night. And I was like, "Fuck, I'm with this guy in teletext, and now he's inviting me out for a drink." And I met you, King Justice, Octavius Kitten, Mr.
Yeah, I tell you what, that day was.
And it's like, honestly, that night felt like I was sat in royalty. Like, but there was my missus didn't get it.
It was the same for me. Like, I got to meet people that was the first. I think that was the first ever time that people recognised me. They were like, "Excuse me, mate," and I was expecting them like to borrow a lighter or something. Like, no, like they wanted me to get a picture of them. Like, fucking hell! You was excited to meet like myself and stuff, but I was excited to meet. Oh my fucking God, that's Ashins, and oh my fucking God, that's Octavius. And at the time, Octavius was probably like a 1,000 subscribed channel or something small. I don't know, but I was excited to meet these people and stuff like that. And I was like, "Fuck, that's that Mr. Biffo bloke, isn't it?" Like I did like it's like. That was that particular day. I'll always remember that. I know I've always got a soft spot for the old Blackpool Tower, the Norbreck, the Norbreck
Hotel.
It's terrible in all the right ways. I love it.
Go home with Legionnaires.
Exactly. I want to get that feeling back, and I'm really excited about going to one day. I haven't got anything set up yet, but one day going to America and meeting a lot of big American YouTubers, because I speak to a lot of those guys as well. I mean, they were. I'll tell you one thing. I actually technically have a bigger American audience than a UK audience by a considerable amount. Actually, that's something that's quite unique to my channel.
Because you network with a lot of British YouTubers. I should just assume we're a British audience.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't know people's stats, but I think most people have more of an American audience when you look at your stats because it's a bigger area, But I think I technically have more, a fair bit more. I mean, I don't want to give out too many stats, but I think it's around 40-50% of my audience is American, and it goes down from there.
Quick comment again from I'm just going to call him Jop. The cool thing about this guy is he keeps being humble and cool with his fans. Also, excuse my bad English, from Argentina. Well, welcome from Argentina. I hope you're having a badass day. Welcome to the Badger'Ed podcast.
Welcome to the stream, sir.
You keep caressing my ego like this. I'm going to boot you. It's not good. It's not good for my head.
I'm going to bring you down a little bit now, because that's a difficult question, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
When I first found you about 4 years ago, I think I started watching your channel. All your content was on YouTube.
Yep.
You've now recently started having a two-layer content. So you have content on Patreon.
Yeah. I've got Patreon.
And you have two-tier content. So you have like content on Patreon.
Yes.
Yeah. What was that? I know the apocalypse was quite big. Was that what made you go like put content behind a paywall? And how did your community react to that?
I'm willing to say, I'm not going to say who, but there was a couple of other people that were saying, you should do this. It makes a big difference. I'm like, I don't know, it's scary. I'm not too sure if I should. And I think it's the same when people, open up a Patreon for the first time anyway, or any kind of move, like, or should I start doing Q&As on my channel? All these different things. It's always scary to take that leap. But for the most part, it has to take off. Now, the reason I have now started paywalling content, I will say straight away, there's actually no change to the amount of content I put out on the channel. I still put out one video a week. I now just work a tiny bit harder to do one extra.
No, it goes on Patreon a month before it goes on YouTube, doesn't it? That's what it is. You get to see.
Oh no! I have actually got videos that are fully paywalled now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, I dug my own hole there. But no. I'll tell you why. Is because you got to be. There he is. You got to be clever sometimes when you do this. Hang on, he's having a fight at the camera.
It's fine. You can carry on. I can still hear you.
Well, we spent an hour and a half pulling you into a license, and now we're going to attack it. It's just like how, because people are watching, our viewers are content creators. So how do you go from creating free content to creating paid content and keep the community on board? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, for the most part, people are okay because the main thing is I'm not taking away. Yeah, I'm not taking away from the channel. Like, so I'm still putting the same amount of content out. I'm just now doing one extra video a month, and that is the one that I'm doing as a one-off. Now, for the most part, those videos are ones that wouldn't be allowed on YouTube. It does just depend on what stories I have to work with. So the latest one is one that probably would have been all right on YouTube, but so I've been doing it for 3 months, but the first two definitely wouldn't have been allowed. So the first one was, I basically just decided I was going to do a video all about the coronavirus and all of the scam artists out there that are taking advantage of coronavirus. And there's like some big American military old guy with a cap, like ex-army guy, and he's like, he's got the cure for coronavirus, and he started
COVID or Corona put in it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was like concocting all of this weird stuff that he bought from a drugstore, and he was selling his weird potion that would cure coronavirus. And I basically done a video explaining about him and these people taking advantage of like gas mask sales and all of these other things. And there were so many people taking advantage of it when it very first hit, even more so now. And I done a video on it, and it was instantly demonetized. So I just took it down. So I'm very clean with my channel. Nothing's demonetized. If something happens, I'll remove it and put it up again cleanly and stuff like that. So I removed it, and I just knew there was nothing I could do to this video. I couldn't, because the content was full of coronavirus. I say the word coronavirus about 50 times. I'm talking about pandemics. There was just no way of getting around it. So I just made it a Patreon exclusive video. And then obviously, I obviously promoted it that way as well. I said, look, want to see this exclusive bit of content? Join up. And as you could probably expect, it gave a nice little boost. I'd sort of unintentionally done that thing that other YouTubers were telling me to do, and now I just do it once a month. That's it.
Is that thing for me personally as a content creator? It's kind of like my time and my expertise. Like you have a certain expertise that no one else is covering on YouTube. You put a lot of time into it. Your expertise. That has worth, that has value. So if YouTube won't let you put that up, well, I can put it up over here and you can pay for it. It's not scammy or insidious, or I'm not trying to make that. I'm just trying to see how did it go from how do your community react?
I think the only way
you can pay for this bonus content.
Yeah, there's. I was literally explaining this earlier on in my own personal Discord as well earlier. I don't want to beat around the bush and whatever else. I am doing it to hopefully build up a Patreon base. I'm not lying. There's no point of saying, "Oh, I'm doing it because I can't," blah blah blah. But I am doing it to hopefully build up a Patreon base. More so, especially considering since coronavirus has hit, you'll hear a lot of other YouTubers say this as well. The ad revenue has gone down. I absolutely kid you not, by about 70 to 80%. It is going back up again slowly, but that I think it was, I want to say March or February, around there, I went down absurd.
Yeah, apocalypse.
I don't know what it was, but I was just like, whoa, this is scary.
While we're on the subject of the pandemic, have you noticed like a positive or a negative effect on like your viewer number? So have they rised because more people at home watching more stuff on YouTube, finding random videos and.
Yeah, honestly, the views have stayed roughly about the same.
Right.
And that was the scary thing. No, in actual fact, because I did the Contra Complete History, I did Streets of Rage Complete History. That was actually more recent, but I did the Contra Complete History, and I did Outrun. That was a very big video. So these videos were actually boosting the views. They were going up. But while I was like minutely going up, like it was very small, the numbers were slowly rising. That line was still going up.
Yeah.
That was the same month that the money, the ad revenue had shot down dramatically. So like I'm literally talking 70-80%. It was like, whoa, what are we going to do here? To the point where I started chatting, just making sure I was out there being friendly with one of my ex-employees, just in case.
Again, while still on the pandemic, more and more, I've noticed personally on Twitch that more people have been streaming due to being at home and having fuck all to do, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with the rise of YouTube, Twitch streamers, and other content creators out there, do you think those channels will last after the pandemic, or do you think they're just going to get kind of brushed under the carpet as if to say, oh, yeah, that was a fun 5 minutes of fame?
It's all going to come down to the individual. I'm not scared, even though there's more competition for me.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop looking at it as competition and you start looking at it as your friends and you know, people that you can help out each other, it's only going to work in your favor. Absolutely only going to work in your favor. And the ones that are, you know, that are coming out of the woodwork now because of, you know, the whole pandemic and whatever else, because they got more time on their hands, as long as they stick to it, then there's no reason. And they're unique enough, and you know, they want to promote themselves and blah blah blah. And there's no reason why you would.
Uniqueness is a big thing, especially with YouTube.
Oh,
you've got to have your own kind of brand on YouTube. Like, you've got yours where you do retro gaming and like the history of Streets of Rage. So that's like what you're known for, is like your retro games.
Yeah.
Like I know the smallest amount.
I wrote an article last year. Sorry. I wrote an article last year on Stop Zen called "Just because you have the ability doesn't mean you have the capability." Like, everybody who can press the share button on the PlayStation and stream a game doesn't mean you're capable of being a streamer.
Again, I'm not going to say
to stream, but you're not capable of being one.
Yeah, again, I'm not going to say names, but you have people say, "How do I get big on YouTube?" Like they think that there is just oh, you just got to click that button. Did you not know about that button? You know, something along those lines. But then they'll also say in the same sentence, or you know, just before or just after, "Oh, I just stream because all you got to do is push the button and it's done for you." Like, well, no, then you're not going to get, you know, you're not going to rise. If that's all you want to do, that's completely fine. But then you can't complain that you're not growing in numbers if you're just, you know, chucking it on for the sake of chucking it on. I will say,
this kind of goes back to what you saying earlier. It's ridiculous. Like, you can press the share button and stream from your PlayStation, and then you can be a Twitch streamer now. But
yeah.
Your background in sales taught you how to market your stream and how to get big. And so when you become a streamer, you're not just I'm playing a computer game, I might as well stream to Twitch. You've got to know how to market. You've got to be a streamer. You've got to be a presenter. You've got to be a sales manager. You've got to be a social media manager. You've got to do You've got to wear 5 hats at once.
It's just one of those things. Like, you know, we're getting quite technical now, but it's just I remember when I had my TV show back on Channel 5, I remember there being in the corner of the TV show hashtag Human Guinea Pigs.
The TV show, what was this?
I'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, so there was hashtag Human Guinea Pigs, but I knew nothing about Twitter, and I didn't ever think to go on Twitter and search for it. Like, that blows my mind now. All I had to have done is type in hashtag Human Guinea Pigs. I would have found people talking about the show, and I could have interacted with them, and by doing that, I would have been promoting it. If you don't know how to do something, go to YouTube and search for it. You know, it's all done. It will tell you. So yes, I'll tell you about that then. So I've just had the 10-year anniversary, so I've got about 11-year anniversary now. But I had my own Channel 5 TV show. Well, I say my own. It was me and 5 other friends, and it was essentially a bit of a cross between Jackass and like Brainiac. And I was one of the guinea pigs. We were called the Human Guinea Pigs. It was a worldwide show. There you go. That's something you didn't know. Everyone's talking about Larry being on the telly. I had a television channel.
No, I need to find this. I want to find this now.
Yeah, you can find clips of it on YouTube. Me and my massive surfer haircut. But so basically, what it was is so basically it was a bit more science-friendly version of Jackass. It was on the same time as Coronation Street, which actually killed us. because the third of the TV market watched Coronation Street at the time. But basically, what would happen is every week they would talk about a particular science topic and how it affects the human body, and they would do those experiments on us. So it'd be all sensible, and it would look a bit Monty Python-esque by the host, who was this insanely intelligent, massively big bearded science professor from London, some university somewhere. And then it would go over to us jobs, who were just being idiotic for a month and getting paid for the privilege. So basically,
was that before the YouTube channel?
Oh yeah, well before, like 11 years ago. It was a long time ago. It was like shown worldwide and everything. It was a surreal experience. Like we was going to clubs and stuff and getting recognised, and we was because they're all like my friends, like the 4 or 5 guys. Like still to this day, I was chatting to one of them earlier on today. Like so, basically, as an example, one of the things we did was each one of us had a fear, and my fear was heights. So they strapped me on top of the wings of an aeroplane, or one of those like bi-aeroplane things, the propellers. And flew it up to see if you fly, will you get rid of your fear of heights? That was one of them. One of the other guys was scared of dogs, so they covered him in bacon and made him run on a dog track and then let the dogs come out. There was a thing we did.
It sounds like my dream job.
Oh, it was just basically getting drunk every night and fucking around doing this sort of thing. There was I'm technically, although you won't see my name in there, I'm technically the Guinness Book World Record holder of eating boiled tripe, which was disgusting.
Oh.
Especially if anyone doesn't know what that is. It's the innards of a cow's stomach, and it was boiled, and it was all white and gloopy. And the thing is, my thing was that the disgusting one, so I could always handle this sort of thing, where someone else was more into like the pain, and one of the other guys was more into like the extreme stuff. Mine was like the disgusting thing. So I was like wolfing this stuff like down. But whilst I was doing it, I was having my mates in my ear. It's a bit like semen, isn't it, Dan? Like, I'm like, necking it. The reason it didn't go to plan is because after I ate all of this. I was going to say semen then. After I've ate all of this, this tripe, it was on scales. So as the scales went up, they knew how much you'd eaten by the weight. They took me away to get some B-roll of me standing in a field of cows, blah blah blah. And then when they went back, the cleaner had cleaned it all up, so they couldn't get the readings for the Guinness Book of World Records. So I should have been in there, but I got duped by the cleaner. There was loads of things. There was loads of things. I'm trying to remember other stuff. Oh, there was one where they wanted. There was like the science behind leeches. So me and my friend laid back on our back, and they put. Let me think about this. So yeah, they'd already waxed his eyebrows for another stunt we did, and they put the leeches over my face. It looked like I had a leech moustache, and they put leeches on his head to make it look like he had leech eyebrows. And at the end, the one that had the most blood taken was the winner. It was little things like that, But that was on TV.
I've been robbed by the Guinness World Record. I broke someone's world record for continuous temping bowling when I worked at a bowling alley. I bowled continuously for 37 hours, 58 minutes. I got put in, got accepted as a Guinness World Record because we had a guy there to confirm it at the time. But before the next book came out, the guy whose record I beat my record.
Oh wow, that's incredible!
But I beat his record. He found out about it. Beat my record before the book got published, so my name never got put in the book. I've got the certificate, but my name never got put in the book because he beat it before the publication date.
Right, we need to try and wrap this up. We've been going for nearly 2 hours. This is literally our longest interview. No, not too long. It's a pleasure. It's really great, and for me personally, because I actually tried to start a YouTube channel, got 14 subs, and then I kind of just stopped.
Yeah, it's one of those hard things. You just got to keep at it, haven't you? But yeah,
okay. So this brings me to the next question. To be honest, what advice would you give to all the content creators watching the podcast right now?
There's plenty of things you can say. So I actually heard someone else say this recently, and it was really, really good. Start niche and then expand. That was a really good bit of advice, because if you start niche, then you'll find more people that are honed in on that. It may take a little bit longer to find those people, but learn how to do social media. Go to YouTube and type in how to build up a Twitter following, learn what a hashtag is. When I did my Streets of Rage Complete History first time round back 6 years ago, whatever it was, I went to Twitter and I typed in hashtag Streets of Rage, found people talking about Streets of Rage, and started speaking to those people. I don't tell them to come and see my content, but by speaking to them, the conversations get flowing, that sort of thing. You're building up, and not only people that would, continue that would watch your content, but you're essentially making friends, which is technically the reason why you should be doing it in the first place, because you want to meet more people that are into this same sort of subject as you are. That was my initial plan, anyway. I would say keep to a schedule. If you can get to a point where you're putting out one video a week at the very least, do that, because that's when I noticed the boost when I went from 1 month to 1 week, and that became a consistent thing. The weekend's here, Dan's going to do a new video, and that's what I would do. I did it in baby steps still. Like I said, I started in months, and then I started doing weeks, and then I realised, a record unboxing as a weekend video, I'll make that as a weekday video and still put something out at the weekend. So that's how my mind works. I want to make sure I'm putting out consistent good content, or good in my eyes at least, for the weekend. Never put out stuff you don't like. I'm just throwing loads of random stuff here now.
No,
that's
the idea.
Never part of something you wouldn't watch yourself.
Say that again.
I was saying never part of something you wouldn't watch yourself.
Oh yeah, that's
you're not going to watch it. You can't expect your people to watch it.
At the end of the day, when you start off, go on. Sorry, go ahead.
And for me, networking. So it's meeting
so
guys like you, Kim Justice, Tristan Bikes, Mr. Biffer is so important. And that really, meeting you guys hasn't really had an effect on my channel and what I do, because I do a different thing to you guys. But it's opened the door up to developers and publishers who then I get games from. So never be afraid. There's so many people who scam you out there.
Yeah.
But never be afraid to open up and work with someone.
Absolutely.
Working with people is the best way to go forward. It's why me and Ed, this podcast goes out on Ed's channel and goes up on my YouTube. Ed gets the live. Sure. I get the after views. That's kind of the deal we have. No, that's a good call to have.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You gotta do it because you love it. Because at the end of the day, so for instance, Kim Justice recently shouted out about my Streets of Rage video at the beginning of her Streets of Rage video, and I have seen people comment on my video saying, "Oh, Kim suggested this. I'm glad I watched it." I haven't promoted Kim the amount of times I have promoted Kim. I've said many times that I think she makes some of the best content on YouTube. I don't say those things. Yeah, I don't say those things because I want her to one day start promoting me. I do it because I want to continue to push the community and continue to push content that I like. And in return, those awesome people will do it back to you. Sorry?
I love Kim's content. I love Kim's bad leg even more because Kim had a bad leg. I had my first onstage GGX experience last year.
Well, I
Kim had a bad leg. I got pulled in to be in a live stage show. I spent 4 years covering EGX, and then finally got to be on stage at EGX. Because Kim had a bad leg. So I love Kim. I adore Kim. She's fantastic. But I love her bad leg even more.
There you go. Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing her fall over a couple of times because of her bad leg. So that was an experience. But in saying that, I'm the one that fell off a stage in front of loads of people, so I can't say too much. But just do it because you want to do it. I've had I think one of the driving forces for me when I realised that I could turn it into a job is because I've had so many jobs that I don't care about. I've never understood how a business is made. How did like Dixon's selling washing machines go? Did someone just really love washing machines so much that they want to start selling washing machines, or did they see it? Or did they think, oh, this is a way of earning money? Because very few people earn money out of make a living by doing things that they'll do because it earns money. If you do something that you genuinely love, then that's when, for me, that's how it turned into a job. When I realised, fuck, there's a chance that I could talk about video games for a living. Oh my God, I'm not going to let this one slip through my fingers. And I just continue to do it because I love doing that particular thing so much. So just do what you want to do.
I mean, 13-year-old me, you've got used to get told off by his mum for wasting his life playing computer games, and now I own a business playing computer games before they come out. Like 13-year-old me is squealing every fucking day. Like, I managed to make this happen somehow.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, when the Mega Drive Mini was finally came out, and Sega invited me up to do a live stream, and I was literally sitting there playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 live at Sega, and I was just thinking, "Fuck!" Like I've made it. I've made it. Besides me having a voice in The Simpsons or something, I don't think there's much more that like I could think of.
A voice in The Simpsons?
I would love to. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, I'm waiting we just found out you had the Top 5 show.
Oh, no, I'm just saying one of those things, like, I only say that because I remember, like, Ricky Gervais, like, technically got a guy that had made it by making this incredibly popular TV show said, I finally made it because I'm a voice in The Simpsons. Like, you know, just like those sort of things. You know, like...
Yeah, he's got 10 million and he finally made it when he got voted. Sorry, I got confused. I thought you were in The Simpsons.
I'm going to be the evil bastard here and actually wrap this up now because Badger's getting sidetracked again, and I'm the voice of reason here at the moment for some reason. Is there anything that you'd like to talk about that we might have missed?
I don't think so. Just be yourself and make content that you want to make. That's the most important thing. Well, and guys, there you go. I've put a link in there if you want to see what I look like strapped to the top of an aeroplane.
That is amazing. I will be watching that after this podcast. But guys, I have put a link in in the chat, and I'll put the link in the description as well. But go and follow him on Twitter. Go subscribe to him on YouTube. But thank you once again, Dan, for being here. It's been amazing. I've learnt a background into YouTube and content creating. I'm going to try and apply some of it to my own Twitch channel. You know,
I hope everybody's watchers, lovers. I appreciate we got you on for a 1 hour interview. We've been here for 2 hours now, nearly.
Yeah, it's all right.
I appreciate being open and with us down. I really appreciate everybody go check out Slopes Games Room. Follow him on YouTube. Follow him on Twitter. This guy's amazing.
Freaks on it.
I know we normally do indie devs and talk against indie devs and do a platform and speak to. This is a guy who's fucking living your dream. He's just giving you a fucking education tonight. The least you can do is go give him a subscribe on YouTube. If you're going to make a cash on, give him a follow on Patreon and see that not safe for YouTube content.
Yeah, we've still got content to come.
Another hour of content to come, yeah. We wrote a 2 hour podcast. Even if you went for 2 hours, we've been really overshot.
Joppo, thank you for the follow, dude. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the Mosh Pit and to the Badger'Ed podcast. But Dan, again, thank you so much, dude. It has been a pleasure. I hope everyone here has actually learned something from this interview. Please stick around because you've got trailers and news coming up. You get to find out what reviews we've got coming up, what we're playing and streaming later this week. But again, Dan, until next time, if there is a next time, which I really hope there is, fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely.
We hope to see you again soon.
We're going to let you go for now, but I'm going to say it's live on stream before we get rid of you. I owe you 3-4 beers for tonight. So hopefully the next expo with that, make sure you cash that fucking check, mate.
Hardly bloody drink it, but you're going to get me wasted, mate. I'm up for that. Let's do it.
I'll remind him, don't worry.
I owe you big time. Thank you so much, sir.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Catch you guys later.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
So, guys, there we go. That is Dan from Slopes Games on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed that. That honestly went on a lot longer than we were expecting. Not complaining.
It was a lot longer. But this is why I brought Slopes in, because Slopes has got, we talk about supporting Twitch streamers and supporting each other. This guy's 131,000 YouTube subscribers.
And then there's me with my 300 odd follows on Twitch.
Yeah. You want to learn how to do stuff? You want to speak out. This is the guy you can't speak to every day. You can't get access to him. And he's here giving access to you right away, answering your questions directly. Talk to you openly and honestly. I can't. There's not many YouTubers as big as him who would do that.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I
That's
really
that's mental,
appreciate
and I
that.
really do appreciate him being here. And again, I appreciate one of his like fans being here and dropping a follow. Like that means a hell of a lot to me. Like as a content creator myself for Twitch, like that means so much to me, and it's our podcast, you know. But anyway,
we're
let's
trying
get
to
into the
find
trailers.
for Dead and stuff, but yeah, we're getting on track. Let's try and get back on track.
So what have you got up first
We're
then?
about 55 minutes overrun right now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's brilliant. So what have we got first then, Senor Badger?
Because we had Slopes on, who does kick scammers and all that lot. I thought it'd be fun to start, because we'll go about trailers next. But I thought it'd be fun to start with a trailer for a game that's not out on Kickstarter yet. So this game it needs £16,000 to be made. It's currently at £10,000. It looks fucking mental.
It's a long trailer, I know that.
This is fucking weird. Ed, play the trailer. This is probably the most bizarre game I've seen in a year.
It looks mad. Like obviously, I watch all the trailers before I set up for the stream. This one's just crazy.
It's beautiful. It's fantastic. We've got a YouTuber on who highlights Kickstarters. I'll never get this one. It's just like, fuck yeah. And I love how in the trailer they speak about, like, they're not talking like, oh, how we're going to make the game or what we're doing. They speak like they're historians, like they're speaking like they're factually correct.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not going to play the whole trailer. It's about 4.5 minutes long.
The Emergence of Medieval Books,
It's a long
a
trailer.
testimony to
But,
how we misunderstood the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Pourquoi
They're just fucking
les
weird.
escargots
It's weird, it's metal, it's
combattent
fantastic.
chevaliers?
Please go back on Kickstarter.
Why do
I
rabbits
threw
have
$30
swords
into
and
there
fight
on this
against
one.
dogs?
The thing is,
Just got the
these
trailer.
illuminations are not decorations.
I think for
Ce
$50
sont des
you can get
vestiges
your
Dick
d'un
Tree.
ancien rituel, le rituel que nous ne connaissons pas, mais qui existait à l'époque.
And that's where I'm going to leave it. Because, like I said, it's about 5.5 minutes long and it just gets weirder and weirder.
Yeah, it does go into a really in-depth, kind of like a historian documentary Discovery Channel type video.
Yes, it's brilliant. It reminds me of, like, what was it called back in the day? Channel 4 with Tony Robinson.
Yeah, it's like a time team.
That's the one. I could not think of the name.
I'll put this on in homage to Slots because Slots, when he does his kick scammers, he goes on like really badly made videos. This is probably one of the greatest well-made videos I've seen on Kickstarter. It's amazing and it's fantastic. And if Slots is still watching, I think he might be backing this now.
No, that it's a weird looking game, and I look forward to actually hearing more about that hopefully soon.
So, basically, it's called Inculnati, and it's a turn-based strategy in which hand-drawn animals and creatures battle on pages of medieval manuscripts. Just launched its campaign. It's kind of Monty Python-esque strategy, inspired by real-life medieval illustrations, with the developer claiming that their concept artists are 700-year-old medieval monks and scribes, making them possibly the oldest games industry employees right after Sid Meier. Nice civilization joke there for anyone who don't get it. The team's raising funds to polish a single-player campaign in which players will play as a master of living ink, also known as a titular Inculnati. I really can't pronounce that word.
Inculnati.
They'll be a current of bestiary, dual medieval celebrities such as Dante and Death itself, as well as go on wild quests, encounters, and challenges. The game promises to have a PvP mode, while the crowdfunding campaign, which has already grossed 50%, will also allow the team to add additional units and beasts and other content. It's already in a playable state. The Polish studio that's making it aims for a PC release by spring 2021. Now, at the time we write this script, it was at $10,000 of its $16,000 target. Get over there, show your support. Like this game needs it. It's mental. It's weird. It's fucking bizarre. And there's the Kickstarter. We've never done this before. We've never pushed a Kickstarter in our podcast. That looks crazy and mental. Please go support it. I threw $30 in today. I've never seen anything like it. It's fucking bizarre. I love it.
That was a weird looking game. It was interesting. Like I said, I'm intrigued to see what more of that comes. But up next, one I actually found on Twitter, and I'm actually talking to the devs at the minute.
Well, this just in a trailer we have to show. We're going to show the people a trailer of the game you played.
Yes, I've actually played the demo. I downloaded the demo today and gave it a quick run through. And trust me, it's one you're going to want to watch me stream because I got angry.
Is this Hyper-Parasite?
Four-wheel drive. No. Nicola, twice the winner of this event.
Not that
and John, this is the car of the future.
Oh, undoubtedly.
A new era is rallying. The age of the supercar has arrived. Four-wheel drive and turbocharging are the keys to success, and all future serious contenders must heed the warning.
This is
it's called Art of Rally. It's like a semi-top down
style.
Oh no, it's just a top-down like rally game. It slides everywhere. The demo is beautiful.
The art's amazing, and I love the nighttime with the lamps for the headlights, so you can't really see what the trapped in front of you.
It's great. Like I said, I actually was playing the demo a little earlier this afternoon. But a little bit about the game. This is the Art of Rally. It's a stylized rally experience from the creators of Absolute Drift, which is an iOS game.
Absolute Drift is a great game as well.
I've not played it, so I can't say anything on there. But
the guys that made Absolute Drift, the drift mechanics on this are going to be spot on.
The drifting on this is mental. Trust me. I was struggling to get to grips with it, but then I did get to grips with it. Do you know the best part of it? The straights. But yeah, a little bit about the game. Yeah, I just need to learn how to drift in the game. So a bit about the game. It's a top-down view that lets you completely focus on the stages by seeing upcoming road features without needing to needing pace notes. So like your old school rally games, 30 left. 10 right, crest.
20 right. No one
and then that's usually what happens because you don't actually listen to them. Like you crash and fall over. That was perfectly timed from your phone there. Thank you. So you progress through a golden years of rally in the career mode. There's 50 plus iconic rally cars from the 60s, 70s, 80s, Group B, Group S, and Group A. The two that are available in the demo are the Renault 5 and the Escort. They're not named that in the game because of copyright.
Yeah.
But completely overhauled handling from the car physics system of Absolute Drift. So the drifting is basically exactly the same from the mobile game, but for PC. You get 60 rally stages. You get 60 rally stages in Finland, Sardinia, Norway, Japan, Germany. You repair performance damages while you're going, between stage, daily, and weekly challenges with leaderboards. And like I said, there is a demo available. If you would like it, please drop me a whisper, and I will send you the link. If not, it will be the planned release date is sometime this year. There isn't an exact date for it yet. But it is planned for this year. As soon as I know any more, because again, I am in talks with them, so hopefully there will be a press kit coming for me soon, so I can do a review, and you'll get to see the review, and I will be streaming it the day I'm allowed to.
That looks amazing. That looks fucking fantastic.
Slotchy. That might be another rally game for you to plat.
Fuck off, Slotchy. I've played the mobile version. Well, not the mobile version of that game, but the mobile game they made before. If they carry the same drift mechanics over, that's going to be a fucking brilliant
they
game.
have. Like I said, I saw Absolute Drift. I think it was on their website or YouTube. It came up, so I watched a little bit of it. Then played the demo, and I was like, "Wow, that's very similar, but even better now."
Right. I'm going really sick because we've been here for 2 fucking hours. I need to go for a pee. But while I'm going for a pee, can you play the Dreamscaper
I can indeed.
trailer? And I will back in a second.
So this game looks really weird, like, in a good way weird. Graphics are amazing as well. So yeah, that is Dreamscaper. I'll talk us through this one. A bit about the game. It's in Dreamscaper. The players divide into Cassidy's subconscious and confront all the surreal nightmares she wrestles with in order to save her from a dark fate. Every slumber is a different ordeal in an ever-changing world with a multitude of unique events and challenges.
Right, apologies, I'm back.
It's fine. I've got you back here. I'm going through it. The deep combat system features a multitude of attack options, from finger guns to yo-yos, to rendering the earth beneath you or controlling time itself. This game looks mental. No, it's fine. I'll let you take on from that bit in a minute. But as you saw in the trailer, the battle mechanic looked amazing. I've not seen a good battle mechanic in a game like that for a long time, personally for me. But Badger'Ed, go for it.
This is why I fucking adore indie games, and it's why we started this podcast. Is that this will probably never come across your radar. You probably never know about it. Anyone that's watched it probably never heard about this. But it's so deep and complex. Yeah, it has a great RPG system. It has a great fighting mechanic that we've not seen for a while in gaming. But it also challenges like the fucking issues like mental health and anxiety and insomnia. Like people don't sleep because they're scared of sleeping.
I know that one.
I love this. AAA games can't address these issues. Indie games do.
There is only one game that I know of that kind of attacks, is the only way to describe it, attacks like your subconscious and the voices in your head, and that's Hellblade. Now, that is a game I physically couldn't fucking play.
Because but that's a game that focuses on the it's the nightmares in the hellscape, or Catherine, you go to sleep and you have the nightmare climb this fucking tower of sheep and shit. But this is like, you spend your waking hours going around interacting with people, and then your dreams are representative of the interactions you've had. I think that's this is what indie games can provide. This is why we do these podcasts. I don't know if that game's good or not. I'm not going to say it's fucking brilliant because I've not played it, I've not tried it. That's all we know of it, is that true? But does it look brilliant and it's trying to approach those subjects? I'm on board with it. And I think we all should be. It's got the musical scores by Dale North. He was a massive guy in the gaming industry and composing, so you know it's going to be fucking amazing music.
Yep.
But yeah, it's out in early access this summer, but Dreamscaper on Steam, you can get the free prologue.
I think I might be downloading that tomorrow.
That's why we do these podcasts, to bring these kind of things to people's attention.
It's definitely different. like I said,
It is, but that's why I love indie games, because indie games can be different. I always said, if you want to see what AAA games are going to do in 5 years' time, look at indie games now.
like I said, the only other game that I know deals with like mental health is literally Hellblade. And like I said, I played about an hour of that, and I had to go sit and rock in a corner for a long time. For personal reasons, anyway. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. This
Tiny Humans Home!
Hey,
Sorry.
Tiny, how you doing?
You came in with all caps, I thought you wanted a shout.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm going to play the trailer for this, because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one, because I feel like it's kind of done, and again, it's a really long trailer, so I'm going to have to pause it midway through.
Yeah, it's,
This
I'll put
is
the
Hard Space
link to the
Shipbreaker,
trailer in the
a space sandbox salvaging game where you'll experience the
chat.
daily life of a spaceship
Here's
salvager
a full
in
trailer
an
there for you.
immersive and grounded industrial sci-fi
worth
future.
watching.
Discover what it
Too right.
means to be a zero-G shipbreaker.
This is one of those
and
games that
become a cut above the rest.
This is literally where I'm cutting it off, because it's a game overview, so that gave you a brief description of what it is. But yeah, this is a brand new game from IP. It's a space sandbox salvager game that is coming to PC via Steam Early Access in less than a month. So that's about June. There we go. June 16th. It's going to be out on Early Access. So from the tools you've got at your disposal, the best use case to how to make the most money from every ship you're sent to cut apart. Learn everything there is to know to be successful spaceship salvager. Hidden dangers, valuable logs, and deep history of this brand new realistic sci-fi universe are concealed in every single vessel. As you become an experienced cutter, you'll upgrade your gear and skills on the path to paying. We've lost Badger. I will get him back in a second. Where was I? You'll upgrade your gear and skills on path to paying off your debt, making a home out of the solar system. And of course, every mistake costs you, so you will need to be at your best, even in a fully upgraded rig. Again, it's coming to early access on Steam on June 16th, and it will be available on PS1 and Xbox at a later date. Let me get Badger back. While we're waiting for him, hi Mimi, how are you doing? We've lost Badger, which isn't great. I'm guessing either his phone's died or something's died. We've lost Badger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next one. This one is called Across the Grooves. I'm going to play it and then I'm going to explain it in a minute.
I go further back. I'm a child sitting at the piano, finger paints over and over. The rhythm knocks me
This looks like
back.
it's going to be one of those story games that you've got to work your way through.
Time falls on itself again. I focus on the atom heart, the nucleus of what we were, of what we are.
I've forgotten how long this trailer actually is.
Golden light through the window, evening sun, Sunday afternoon. You there on the couch, me at the piano. I look at you, I smile. When you smile back, the flow of time
It is very artsy for a Yes.
Into this
I'm trying to work on getting Badger back at the same time.
is now. Time collapses. Fragments of
It looks like this is a one-man show now. We've lost Badger.
moments bleed, years in between.
So, that is Across the Grooves. This is from Novavox, and the award-winning French studio behind Sears Isle and Along the Edge comes Across the Groove. A hand-painted musical adventure coming to Steam and the Nintendo Switch on June 17th. Yeah, so Alice is a young woman living in a sunny Bordeaux with a stable and uneventful life until one day she receives a vinyl record from Ulysse, her ex-lover. As she listens to the record, she relives the defining moments of her past, but when she returns to the present, everything has changed. To get her life back on track, she will have to track Ulysse across Europe and unravel the musical mystery and perhaps rediscover herself along the way. Explore alternate realities as every decision you make as Alice, no matter how small, changes who she is. In this full hand-painted adventure with a mood-adapting musical score, on June 17th, you can turn the heads of fate on PC, Mac, Linux, and Nintendo Switch. But in the meantime, stick that game in your Steam wishlist while you're waiting for it. It is a unique art style, a unique soundtrack, a unique game mechanism. He's using big words and I'm dyslexic. Mechanism, apparently. That doesn't look like mechanism. There's an S there. It's thought-provoking and arty. Oh yeah, I love how it's frozen on Badger's face. Badger, is there any chance of you coming back soon? But yeah, that's an interesting game. I watched the trailer and I wasn't personally. That's not my style of game. But that's just me. Okay, it was mechanics. There we go. Ed yes, I do need Badger because he can help me with big words. But here's a game that randomly popped up and spoke out to me. I'm going to show you the trailer, and I'm not even. No, I'm not going to. I'm just going to play this trailer.
Peggy 12.
This looks amazing and I really want to play it. I just love the style of it, like it's blocks. Apparently I like blocks. Nah. And that's why it's not what you said. It's definitely not Minecraft for me to see of thieves. It's culinary at the same time as crafting. I mean, there's definitely a Minecraft feel about it. So you get cook-offs against other characters. Apparently attacked by sharks. So yeah, that's Epic Chef. I'm just going to get Badger back, apparently. I'm calling. I'm just going to mute that until he comes back. So yeah, Team 17 have partnered up with Infinite Gaming to publish their upcoming culinary live sim. He's back! Oh my god, he's back!
I returned from the dead.
There's coming back from the dead, and then there's leaving me to fucking panic!
I managed to get my phone to 4% battery. I'm trying to get the rest of it. I'm fucking working harder to get this out now.
I mean, you might need to turn your phone the other way, otherwise you're going to look really weird.
A lot better?
That is a lot better. All I've got to do now is whoop. There we go. Look, I got it back. Yay!
Guess who's back?
Anyway.
Back again.
Technical issues. Whoop whoop.
Hello,
party. Anyway, let's get back to Epic Chef. Epic Chef is a game that caught my eye when I was scrolling through websites earlier. But yeah, so Team 17 have partnered up with Infineon Games to publish their upcoming culinary live sim, Epic Chef, which is currently in the development for PC. Players will find themselves in the city of Ambrosia. Great pun there. If you don't know what ambrosia is, it's custard. Or pudding to Americans. And as Zest, so that is the character you're playing. The mysterious new stranger in town.
Ambrosia was the gift from the gods in Greek mythology.
They must take on the master chefs in a historic culinary combat to bid to become the best chef in town. Epic Chef offers players a unique blend of cooking game and life sim, alongside a fun and engaging narrative. The game also offers the option to farm, forge, and frolic in the laid-back city of Ambrosia. That's really bad pun.
That is really bad.
I mean, it's bad, but it's great at the same time. From rearing animals to destroying rival chefs in a surreal one-in-one duels, Epic Chef makes sure players will not be short of things to do. There's a lot more I can tell you about this game. You've got delicious dishes, dynamic recipe creation, which means you can experiment with thousands of different ingredients combinations to create a unique menu of delicious delights. You've got food fights, so you get to engage in battles across Ambrosia with master chefs. Dishes are scored on a variety of things, and no two judges have the same taste, meaning every battle is going to be different. Home Sweet Home. Customize and repair your disblated and slightly haunted villa to its former glory. Story time.
Story time. I have an issue with.
I have
an issue with story time.
Do you?
I have a big issue with story time. Right, these cunts can fuck off with the game now. I like the trailer, I like the game, until I saw what Dr. Seymour Scheme was written on story time.
A wonderfully created narrative inspired by the wicked humour of Sir Terry Pratchett accompanies players on a journey to become the very best chef in Ambrosia.
Fuck off. Uncle Teddy brought me up. Uncle Teddy was my childhood. When Uncle Terry died, his assistant crushed all the fucking hard drives that had his next works on, so no one can ever copy it. Don't say you inspired by Sir Terry Pratchett. You're not. There's one Terry Pratchett. Fuck off. Game go away. I'm done. I don't care.
Badger rants. And
Don't inflict the name of Uncle Teddy.
That sounds really dodgy. That sounds dodgy. And last but not least, discover a custard. Ambrosia. When the kitchen gets a little too hot, going on spa trips, try fishing, or meet the friendly locals. That is actually out as of today? That can't be right. Is that out today? I'm going to check Steam quickly now.
It comes out Wednesday 27th of... Yeah, it's out today.
Yeah, out today. That's what I mean. It's out today, Wednesday the 27th. Clary's on it. There we go. I don't need to bother. But that is it for the trailers, guys. Epic Chef. What was that? Sorry, Badger?
I'm not just talking as someone who's read the Discworld books. I'm talking to someone who's made the pilgrimage to Wincanton to visit the Discworld Emporium to see. I've been on the chalk. I've walked along the chalk. Like, you don't invoke the name of Uncle Teddy unless it's fucking right.
Anyway, that is it for the trailers. You stop ranting, mister, or I'm going to send you away again. Go on. I know you're excited to talk about this one, so I'll let you take this one.
We did talk about this in the trailer, actually. In the interview with Slurps. Pac-Man's 40 years old this week. And Pac-Man's influenced games for 40 fucking years. It's probably the most influential game in gaming history. And now it's going to be the first game to ever be fully playable on Twitch. I don't fully understand how this works. It's magic to me. Maybe the people in there understand it, but so Pac-Man will be playable on Twitch starting this June. Bandai Namco, Amazon Games announced it. To play the Twitch version of the game called Pac-Man Live Studio, you'll just need to navigate to the dedicated Twitch channel for the game when it goes live, so you'll only be able to play it in the web browser. Don't worry, you'll be able to play the original Pac-Man mazes in Pac-Man Live Studios Classic mode, but there'll be other modes too. In Endless mode, up to 4 people can play together and try climb the global leaderboard and compete for a high score. But you'll only have 1 life per level. In Studio mode, you can make and share mazes, and you can get a look at the game's maze editor in the screenshot below and the article we've got, blah, blah, blah. In Select mode, up to 4 players can try to get a high score on community-made mazes. Twitch is well known as a destination to watch video games, and it is played host to a number of interactive creator-led streams, such as Twitch Plays Pokemon. But Pac-Man Live Studio will be the first game that is built directly into the platform. That raises the intriguing possibility that other games could be built into Twitch in the future, turning it into a place to watch and play games. That's fucking bizarre. But yeah, so you can go to the Pac-Man Live. They've not released what the Pac-Man Live channel is yet, but you can go to it and play Pac-Man without downloading it, without playing it, without buying it, and you can make levels in it, apparently.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to try it out when I get some free time. I love Pac-Man, and the fact I remember back must be like 2014 time, playing Pokemon like Red, Blue, and Yellow through Twitch. So like you'd have to type out the command you wanted it to do, and then it would move 1 step forward. So it's going to be interesting to see how they've changed it from 1 step forward to pegging it down 1 fucking line or going round a corner and fucking hiding from the ghosts. That I'm really intrigued on this.
I fucking love the fact that a game that's 40-year-old is breaking history in gaming.
Pac-Man has always broken records in game, like history in general. Like Pac-Man is like, for me, the original game I remember going, video games. To me, that's my childhood right there. Is Pac-Man.
Yep. But I love it's not GTA 6, it's not Red Dead Redemption 3 or all that. It's Pac-Man, a 40-year-old game that's making a breakthrough in Twitch streaming. Just going to the start a minute. Badger, you in touch with the Man-Eater devs? Yes. Yeah.
Even I can answer that one.
Which way? I can email them. I can WhatsApp them directly. I can call them. Yeah. They're probably when we speak about we're in touch with devs and stuff. They're probably the ones I'm most in touch with.
Anyway, let's get back because we're at the 2.5 hour mark. We need to start wrapping this up, otherwise nobody's going to want to watch it again.
So, PlayStation 4 is holding open tournaments.
Yes.
Next month.
With cash prizes.
So if anyone's got a PS4, no, you can click on events on the UI and you can enter tournaments. And if you qualify and get so far, then you get into the qualifiers and blah, blah, and then you can start. You have to win like, there's a Call of Duty tournament on PS4, but you have to win like 100 games to get to anything that actually pays out. Anything, you have to win like 100 games to get to anywhere that qualifies as
You're gonna have
e-sport.
to be fucking good to stand out in it.
Not so much anymore. Because now Sony's announced a new round of its PlayStation 4 tournament series. So the new series will feature weekly qualifiers as well as rewards just for participating and tiered price on results. So the tournament opens on the 1st of June. There's 7 games that are eligible for the tournament. So that's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, FIFA 20, Mortal Kombat 11, Warface, which we gave a 0 out of 10 for on Software Presents, NBA 2K20, Soul Calibur 6, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
I'm sorry, like just talking about NBA 2K20, I've seen some of the players just on Xbox that aren't even competing for money. They're fucking mad, like mad good, fucking mad good. Like I sat back and watched them because obviously you can see I do play it off stream. You can watch like their online players on the courts and just watch them. I'm just like, my fingers don't fucking think that quick, let alone work that quick. Like you see him you watch him doing crossovers, the next thing you know, alley-ooping from down there. It's like, what the fuck's just gone on?
Well, this is part of the this PlayStation Stay at Home initiative.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get things to where you stay at home and do stuff. So what I'm going to do is just for joining. So you don't have to be, like you said, NBA 2K20. You see people online and fucking, how the fuck do you do that? Just for joining in.
Yeah.
You'll get a PlayStation 4 theme for each game that you play.
That's cool.
So if you right, we've got the 7 games just mentioned earlier, but if you've only got NBA 2K20, you can join the tournament, get beat, you get a PlayStation 4 theme. Right? There's an elite version of the theme and avatars for players who finish in the top 40%. The best of the best PS4 tournament champions themes and avatars for those who make it to the monthly final, and the rarest of the rare champions PS4 themes and avatars for those players who finish top and showcase their dominance. Right? Also, on top of the free themes and avatars that you get, winners of the weekly open qualifiers. So if you decide to join NBA 2K20 for the weekly one, you get put into a random group of people. If you win the weekly, you get $100. You win the monthly, you get a share of a prize pool of $1,000 or more.
Jesus Christ!
Depending on how many people are playing. So yeah, it's just it's part of, I think PlayStation done really brilliant with their stay-at-home initiative.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's just been like, do you know what? Play this, join in. If you get beaten first game, you get a PlayStation theme. If you get to the top 40, you get this PlayStation theme with a gold banner around it.
Yeah.
If you win the weekly, hey, you get $100.
That's mad.
If you get to monthly, you win the monthly, you get.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. So yeah, swiftly moving on. I'll let you take this one because I have no idea what you're talking about with this one. It's the Phil Spencer says it's hard to show next gen consoles without putting them in the hands of gamers.
This is kind of going to what we showed last week. So we showed last week the footage PS5 gameplay, the first footage we've ever seen.
Yeah.
The PS5 gameplay, and we talk about how much the polygon, you can have 15 billion polygons in a pixel now, and that's how it works in the lighting and the lumen and I think it's lumen and namite effect, I think they were called. Right? But everyone's going, don't look much better than PS4. What fucking done? You've seen PS4 graphics. How much do you expect them to get? You could get a fucking 20 grand PC, and it's not going to look much better than a PS4 in terms of graphics. So Phil Spencer's been saying now, like, it's hard to show what the next gen is, because the next gen's about immersion and the haptic feedback of the controller and feeling like you're in the game, which is the same things we know from the PS5 controller. They has haptic feed.
Yeah. Ooh, we're losing you again, buddy.
Generation.
We.
So Phil Spencer said it's hard to show.
Come on, bring it back, internet. We're losing Badger again. He's gone again. His phone's died. Oh no, it's a poor connection. While we're waiting for him, Call of Duty World.
That's where it all comes in.
We lost
due
you
to
there,
the
I'm afraid,
lockdown,
dude.
we're not able to show that to people.
We actually lost you there, I'm afraid.
What? Just say because of the lockdown, the next gen consoles are not so much better in graphics. It's more lighting and technique, but it's more haptic controls. It's how the game you can feel walk through quicksand. You can feel walk on a hard road to walk on a tarmac road. And Phil Spencer saying like we're able to show off what the Xbox One can do, but we're not like we can't put it in front of people because we're not allowed to happens. So without telling you the biggest thing about it, because how can you show someone how it feels?
Right, I do apologise for this. I believe Badger may need to go closer to his Wi-Fi.
I'm 3 floors up from my Wi-Fi. I'm fucked if I'm losing my sense.
What we'll do is we'll move swiftly on. We'll cover that one next week if needs be. Call of Duty World War II is available now.
Should we close
is now available on PS Plus. What I'll do is
Facebook gets this month, but you get it a week earlier because it got leaked. So Sony went, okay, have it now.
Yep. What I'll do, Badge, is I will finish this off because we are losing and you are stuttering really badly.
I'll stand up. I'll let you close the show, mate. Also, while I'm stuttering, thank you for what? Chicken.
Right, we'll hopefully have a better Badger next week. We did have some technical issues earlier. But Badger, thank you for tonight, buddy. I will close up the stream. I don't mind, and I'll finish up the podcast. We will catch you next week, dude.
All right, thank you, Mum.
No
Sorry,
worries. I'll talk to you after the podcast. And he's gone. That didn't even hang around. Right, last bit of news. I don't know if we did touch on it last week, but Chromatic Games would like you to be aware of a recent Dungeon Defenders Awakened pricing change. The game would be available on Steam for $29.99 at launch instead of $39.99 as originally planned. So you're getting it as a tenner off, which is awesome. But that is it, folks. Like I said, that was the last bit of news. Do you have any questions before we go? I'll do my best to answer them. But while I'm waiting for the questions to come in, remember, this is your podcast, so please do get in touch with us. Let us know what you want to see included, what you think of interviews. There is, below this screen on PC, a box with suggestions. I do check it. Don't worry. At the minute, nobody said anything in it, so, I can't really check it. But yeah, if you come across new game trailers or new stories that you think might be worth covering or you'd like to see, shout us out at socials. Literally, there. Yeah. Drop us a message. It will be there. We'll get in touch with whoever we need to. We'll get in touch with yourselves. We'll look into it. But yeah, remember, this is your podcast, so we can't do this without you guys, And we appreciate you being here every night. But yeah, remember, socials, reach out to us. Please, please, please reach out to us. That would be amazing if you could. But we are going to pass this on to... who should we pass this on to? We will pass this on to... Ooh, choices tonight. We've got a few choices. We're going to pass this on to Blair Witch. So let's get that raid underway. Excuse me while I type. I believe that's how you spell it. I bet I've spelled it wrong. Oh no, I've done it. Oh, it's Strange. Yeah, right. No, change the plan. We'll go to Strange.
No, he's just gone.
Has he just stopped? Oh man. Ah, that sucks. Right. Okay, we'll go back to Blair then. Let's get this raid underway, guys. No, it helps if I actually put something in. There we go. Technical issues. I'm not stuttering, you're stuttering. But thank you for joining us tonight, guys. It has been fantastic. Again, the interview with Dan was amazing. Again, if you want to catch up with it, it will be in the highlights on here. It will be on YouTube by tomorrow. The bigger we make the podcast, the more access to content we're going to get for you guys. That's all I can really say. But guys, until then, I've been Ed, he was Badger, and you have been badgered. Tell them when we get to Blair Witch that the Badgered podcast sent you. But much love, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the follows. Make sure to click that follow button. Turn on the notifications. We are here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. British summertime, GMT, depending on time of the year. When it's not BST. 8 p.m. all year round, guys. But much love. Peace out. And we'll see you soon.